On the planet Vegeta, a powerful sphere of energy had gone to the womb of Gine, who was the mother of Kakarot. That's right, Kakarot, despite being a simple baby, his destiny was to become the most powerful, omnipotent god of all existing. Flashback. At the beginning of everything existing, an imposing warrior who was considered the king of everything existing, his power having no limit, was able to even defeat thousands of gods without any difficulty, but even the warrior with the strongest heart falls before the charms of the beautiful goddess. That's right, the invincible god had withdrawn from all battles since he had met a powerful goddess, which in the same way was captivated by the combat agility of that god. The power of that god is incredible. For me, it'll be the greatest honor to die in his hands, since his power is said to be infinite. That goddess has been the first to generate some fear in me, but not because of her strength. It's rather because of her beauty. She has left me surprised. The powerful, invincible god named Nagami had been able to heal all Kira's wounds. However, when an explosion was so powerful, the beautiful goddess had been knocked out of combat. So Nagami, with his great speed, was able to reach quickly his castle, in which everyone was surprised to realize how he'd been able to arrive with the goddess in his arms. So several months had passed until one day, a powerful warrior had been begotten in the womb of that powerful goddess, who was also known as the goddess of the sword. In her last war with her husband to have been able to annihilate millions of beings who had the necessary power to end up with the king completely, only with her thought, on the other hand, in a different castle. A powerful family in the same way was allying with all the other gods and kings to end up with the entire OZARU family, which included Nagami, Kira, and the child she was carrying in her womb. We can't allow that child to be born. If two gods like Nagami and Kira are, I have to be able. I agree with you, Goddess Fria. Nagami's power is amazing. I can't imagine the power with which that child would be born. Even his power can be comparable to that of an 8th stage ruling god. It is decided. Today we will even use the forbidden techniques of all the clans and kingdoms to be able to end the lives of those warriors. At that moment of night, an immense ball of massive energy would collide with the fortress, in which they were able to have defensive matrices. It'd be very difficult for them to be able to disintegrate that massive attack. However, at the moment that the barrier was about to disappear, an incredible minotaur engulfed in flames was able to disintegrate the attack completely. What are they doing? It's a war call, and if our clans confront theirs, they won't be able to do anything against us. Nagami's astonishment was too much. Realizing how warriors of his own clan, they began to fight against Kira, his wife. Nagami, being about to attack, would be stopped by an elite squad of warrior. However, Kira, with her great sword art, was able to finish off the warriors who approached. Nagami, we have been betrayed! We have no chance! I'm not able to use all my power, because that would be harmful for my pregnancy. Don't worry, I'll protect you. I'm considered the most powerful god of all existing. This should be nothing. Nagami had rushed against all the warriors, starting to have an incredible battle. Nagami, knowing that they were trying to kill his wife and son, he would fight in a very wild way. That's right, the mound of corpses was beginning to form all over the Nagami kingdom. But at the moment, Fria would approach Nagami. Nagami, what happened? Why are you attacking all our warriors? Nagami, to be a few inches from Fria, would be pierced by the fist of Fria, which was his own sister. That's right, even his own family had betrayed him. Kira, realizing this, would be terrified, but her blood began to boil with anger. Those damn worms! They dare to betray even their own family! I swear that I will not forgive them! My little son, I will use a divine technique of the highest rank so that you're not able to survive and to be reborn. I don't know if it'll have effect since you are not born yet, and you will have to be reborn again, but I trust in the power that runs through your veins. Kira at the moment was able to accelerate her internal system, being able to transfer much of her divine energy to her son. However, at that moment, the energy would be rejected while an incredible power was released from Kira's womb, a power that was able to make everyone present kneel. That's right, the power of the little warrior was able to surpass the power of his own father, who was considered by many the perfect god. If our son has all that power, he has rejected my power so that I'll be able to join the battle. I promise that we will fight until our last breath. Kira at the moment was able to finish the rebirth technique, and only 2 seconds later, a warrior was able to pierce her belly with an energy sphere. Nagami, observing all this, would get out of control, releasing 100% of all her power, with which she began to destroy everything that existed around her. But Kira would communicate with Nagami telepathically. Nagami, control yourself. Absolutely nothing has happened. I've been able to get our little son to be able to be reborn in one of our minor universes that don't reach the power of an elite god, so that we won't find him, but we have to take care of these damned with us. There's no doubt about that. I plan to die on this battlefield. These bastards have messed with the most precious thing I have. The eyes of both had been crossed, so at the moment, both of them were beginning to massacre every god that was put in front of them. That's right, millions of warriors were falling at the hands of the parents. It's time. The energies of the child has been completely disappeared. It's now to use the celestial seal. Nagami and Kira finding the center of all the kingdoms, each kingdom and clan was able to activate a seal, being powerful enough to seal both warriors. However, not satisfied with this, Fria, who was the leader of all the kingdoms, would approach the seal, beginning to extract all the divine energy of both subjects. With their divine energy, we'll be able to form equipment all from the other warriors, so they won't have any more problems. You better take advantage of your life, because the day of your death is near, and neither you nor anyone else knows that. Don't say stupid things. You don't possess the required power to do anything against us. That for you is impossible. Both warriors had been completely sealed, and as they possessed absolutely none of their divine energy, they would not be able to break free. My mighty Queen Fria, what do we do now with the seal? I want for all eternity, there will be guards so that no being will be able to give them help, and they will not be able to get out of that seal. On the other hand, in all the minor universes, there was no warrior who was able to withstand all the energy of the son of both gods. So he would wander for millions of years until even the universes had been divided. But the current ruler, Zeno-sama in Universe 7, a Saiyan, who was not a warrior, but in her veins ran the blood of the first most powerful god. That's right, with the power and essence of Nagami, they were able to create even energy pills, which by possessing a little of her essence and conceiving a son with this effect, her children were able to be born with much higher power than the original, but never compared to the authentic power of the god Nagami. Gine was one of the thousands of descendants, so the energy sphere was able to merge with her womb, being able to reincarnate in a small child named Kakarot. However, in the same way, all her power was sealed so that it would not be felt by any of the high ranking. And flashback. The little baby Kakarot had been born, with his power absolutely null. That's right, he would be considered low class, so he didn't even have the power to breathe on his own, so incubators were needed to help him breathe. He's identical to me, and I'm not gonna let my dear son die. I'm sure the damn Frieza has something planned, and also I know Kakarot will become very strong. Bardock, don't tell me you sent to him another planet. You're correct, Gine, but it's not certain that Kakarot's still on this planet. Frieza's afraid of the legendary Super Saiyan. He's even gathered all the Saiyans. But he's just a baby. He won't be able to survive. You're wrong. We'll send him to planet Earth, on which there's no powerful warrior, so there's nothing to fear. That same night, both were able to take a ship, being able to observe for the last time their beloved son Kakarot. I'm sure that you'll become a very powerful warrior. No matter what they tell you, you will rise up for the entire Saiyan race. We promise that if your father's wrong, we will come to you as soon as possible. The ship would rise throughout outer space, so it would begin to head towards planet Earth at a great speed. On the other hand, after spending only one day on the planet Vegeta, the Emperor of Evil, Frieza, had thrown a powerful sphere of energy, with which on this occasion Bardock, despite using all his power, was not able to do completely anything. So that supernova was able to destroy the planet in its entirety. On the other hand, Kakarot had arrived on planet Earth, and everything we knew it would go on absolutely the same. So far, in which Kakarot was able to activate the Ultra Instinct for the first time against Jiren, who was able to observe an opposing warrior in his mind. You finally have been able to awaken half of the percent of your true power, Sumaru. That is the name of your mother, and I had planned to keep training, and since the entire Upper Kingdom is corrupted, I trust you. What? My head! What was that? But I don't have time to think about it. Better concentrate on the battle. Both warriors began to fight, however on this occasion Goku's power was much greater, with which he had been able to corner Jiren. However, Jiren, by expelling all his power, was again able to have the advantage in the combat. Son Goku, you've been able to force me to use 100% of all my power, and nobody had achieved that. So from now on, I'll defeat you. Goku felt like a latent power was growing inside his body, so at the moment, Goku was also able to release all the power of the Ultra Instinct. His pressure had been so much that this time even multiple warriors weren't able to breathe due to the simple pressure of Son Goku. "I'm prepared to use all my maximum power!"
Wow, I can't believe it. Son Goku's power has grown in an amazing way. I even doubt he's a mere mortal.
The battle of both seemed very equal. However, the more the battle went on, Jiren's power began to decrease, as he wasn't used to 100% of all his power. While for his part, Goku, despite being the first time using all that power, his body began to adapt quickly. After a few more minutes, Goku was able to beat Jiren with a powerful energy attack, which had eliminated him from the platform, making Universe 7 the winner of the Tournament of Power.
Mr. Goku winning the Tournament of Power. Tell us, what's your wish?
"I wish that all the universes eliminated by the great Zeno-sama were returned to normal." Daishenkin would stare at Son Goku, and with a big smile he would fulfill his wish, being able to make all the universes return. However, this time even the 6 universes eliminated in the past would return, with each of their destructive gods, which these were at the level of Daishenkin.
The wish has been fulfilled, so thanks to all of you for participating. You can withdraw.
Goku would say goodbye to both Zeno-sama, so at the same time of returning to planet Earth, they would be received by a great banquet by Bulma. Everyone would celebrate her victory. However, Goku did not forget the words he had heard in the Tournament of Power. "I'm sure something very serious is happening, and I have to be able to find out." At the rapid passage of 4 days, Goku and Vegeta would continue with their great training, with the help of Whis to become much more powerful, despite the fact that Goku's power this time was much greater. He was not able to hit any of his blows to Whis. "The power that Mr. Goku possesses is incredible, but he's still a long way from being able to compare himself to the power of an angel. Whis, your power is amazing! Despite all the training we have done, we're still not able to give you a single blow, but I'm sure we will."
Of course, Kakarot. We Saiyans don't possess some limits. We'll be able to even break over Whis.
Thus, the training of both would continue, while in his body, the power that by law belonged to him began to become much more present, to awaken little by little the authentic power of the new omnipotent ruler. Goku was in the time room because training with Whis no longer gave him the same results as before. So in the same reason he had left him to undergo a new training on his own, the instant he locked himself in the time room, he would begin to expel his power, with which he was able to access the imperfect Ultra Instinct. "The power I possess is incredible, but I'm not yet able to master the Ultra Instinct to its maximum power, and I feel like an extremely incredible power runs through my body." Goku would begin to train with himself. That's right, he would be able to create a copy of himself with which he was able to maintain fierce combats, and by both getting hurt, they obtained a great increase in energy. Meanwhile, in the depths of the Divine Superior Kingdom, one of the most powerful warriors of Nagami was able to wake up. That's right, one of his elite warriors had been exiled by not agreeing with Nagami's betrayal.
Ugh, damn, my body still hurts too much, but I've been able to survive that Fria's attack. Can't believe she betrayed her own brother.
A warrior named Boaster, by not having enough divine energy, would fall to lesser universes because the seal had affected several warriors present. But being about to try to return to the higher realm, an illusion of Nagami would appear. "Boaster, I never saw you in the ambush they set for me, so I knew that they left you incapacitated or ended your life. If you're seeing this memory, it's because you're still alive. I want you to go to the lesser universes and look for my son. That is your last mission." Boaster was surprised not knowing how his lord had a son, but he would remember that Kira, instead of fighting, was gathering the amount of energy required to be able to perform a special technique.
That means that the powerful Kira, instead of saving herself, has decided to give her son another chance. And of course I will fulfill this mission.
Boaster would begin to move towards the lesser universes, starting to concentrate with the intention of feeling some of the essence of his lord. But it was completely impossible for him since Son Goku was in a completely different dimension. But Boaster, being an expert in tracking, was able to locate as an essence similar of that of Kira and Nagami had appeared on the planet Vegeta. So from that place, he was able to find Goku's whereabouts, without having the need to resort to the help of the beings of said universes.
Apparently the warrior named Son Goku, or also known as Kakarot, is training in a space-time room.
Boaster would begin to move quickly through the dimensions, as his power was on another level compared to the warriors of said universes. his presence would go completely unnoticed. Boaster would reach a specific place in the universe, so he would observe it completely.
This is the place where you are. Only you are in a different dimension, but cracking dimensions of these universes is extremely easy.
Boaster, by expelling a little of his incredible power, was able to crack the dimension into hundreds of fragments. And if Goku likewise accessed the Ultra Instinct, the dimension would collapse completely, making Boaster enter that dimension. For his part, Goku would try to decrease his power a little, since he would realize how his power had been able to destroy the entire dimension completely. Wow, the power I've obtained is incredible, but why have I seen space? Was he not in the Holy Temple? Only that the God of the Earth has changed the location. That's when the situation like this occurs, the Earth will not be affected. Goku would be able to decrease his power, but at the moment he would feel an overwhelming pressure. So he would not mind raising his power to the limit, being able to dodge an energy beam, which instantly colliding with the terrain of that place would create a big explosion, while the whole room of time would begin to completely change.
That was amazing. I didn't think you'd be able to dodge it. After all, you are his son, and you are by law the prince of everything existing.
The latter would only think, watching as Goku going into a battle pose, while being cornered, the power of Nagami and Kira felt much more, solving Boaster's doubts completely.
There's no doubt that this is my lord's son, and I plan to teach him everything. He has to end the reign of the cursed Fria, although she would be his aunt.
Boaster would begin to approach Kakarot, which at the moment, without wasting for one more step, he would pounce against the new warrior. Since his simple pressure was capable of breaking several of his bones, Boaster would effortlessly begin to dodge all of Goku's blows. So at the moment, Boaster would stretch out one of his hands, and with his little finger, he would hit Goku's forehead, sending him flying, creating a big explosion all over the place. Even the rocks turned into simple dust due to the power.
With that simple finger, I had to be able to knock him out.
Boaster was a little surprised to realize how the warrior in front of him would get back on his feet very badly injured, but he would get his aura to rise all over the place, while his power was not able to increase much more due to all the wounds on his body. I don't know who the hell he is, but I can't let him go outside. I'm sure even Whis wouldn't be able to do something against him. Goku, with all his maximum power, had rushed against Boaster, who would dodge each of his blows, while saying the following.
The power of this warrior is incredible, but absolutely nothing compares to the true power with which he was supposed to be born. But I'll make sure that he becomes a great warrior. That's my mission. The son of my lord will be the nemesis of that dam.
Goku, at the moment, when realized his warrior was a careless, he would create and execute his iconic technique. That's right, Goku, with quick movement, was able to create the Dragon Punch. A large golden dragon would begin to lash out at Boaster, which was surprised because the technique was very similar to that of his lord.
That technique is amazing. Can't believe I inherited the destructive OZARU strike technique.
When Boaster realized the technique well, he realized that instead of an OZARU, it was a dragon, so he would only stretch out one of his hands, being enough to stop Goku's definitive technique. Damn, the power of that guy is amazing. He'll end my life, damn.
The power you possess is incredible, but you're far from your limit. Don't worry, I'm going to be in charge of training you and becoming one of the most powerful warriors in this entire cosmos.
Goku would be knocked out, so Boaster would quickly hold him in his arms.
My lord's son and the next prince of the cosmos can't touch the ground, so don't worry, I plan to heal every one of his wounds.
Boaster would take him to rest in one of the rooms that was in the Room of Time. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, Daishenkin was a little thoughtful for all the power that Son Goku had been able to release, and likewise a little thoughtful because he was supposed to be very powerful beings had returned.
Mr. Goku's powers returned in an incredible way, but I can't believe the power he's been able to get. But what worries me the most is the appearance of the other 6 universes. I'm not able to feel the essence of their gods.
At the moment, both Zenos would appear in front of Daishenkin. What's going on, Daishenkin? You've been very thoughtful lately. Are you feeling well? It's true, Daishenkin. What's wrong with you? Is there anything we could do to make you feel better?
I appreciate your word, my lords, but I was thinking about the incredible power that Mr. Goku's been able to achieve.
Our friend is amazing. I'm sure he'll become much more powerful.
I agree with you, my lords, but there's something else. The 6 universes eliminated millions of years ago have returned.
The look of both Zenos had completely changed. That's a big problem, because if they wage war against the entire Divine Kingdom again, that'll be catastrophic. Who's back?
I don't know exactly, as I haven't been able to feel the pressure of any of the gods. Only their universes have completely returned.
I understand, but if it'll be better to investigate to be prepared for any surprise attack.
I understand, my lord. Tomorrow I'll go to each of the universes.
Returning to the time room, Goku had been able to wake up after all this time. However, when he woke up, he was surprised when the entire biome of the time room had completely changed. That's right, Boaster had released a little of his incredible power. Was I really able to finish with that warrior? I can't believe it! He held back too much, as his power far outweighs my power.
Wow, I can see you've already woken up.
Goku would put himself in a guardian again, not being able to feel his power.
I'm sorry if the last time I attacked you were for no reason. I just wanted to test all your power, since you become one of the best race and the best lineage.
What? I don't understand anything you're talking about.
And you better not understand anything I'm telling you, because otherwise even your life may be in danger.
I understand, but then who are you? That if I may know.
Of course, yes. I'm one of the most powerful warriors in the cosmos, only below the 5 omnipotent rulers.
Goku was much more surprised due to knowing that the warrior who was in front of him was even able to overcome the great Zeno-sama with incredible ease.
It's not time to be amazed. It's time to get to training, because I'm sure all this just about to start.
I don't know who you are, but if you want to train me, of course I want it, and much more if you are such a powerful warrior. Boaster at the moment was able to get hundreds of energy rays to travel all over.
You better even activate the Ultra Instinct. If one of those rays is able to touch you, it'll cause great damage, even is it capable of ending the life of an average warrior.
Goku would quickly begin to access the Ultra Instinct, with which he would begin to dodge each energy ray.
You'll have to dodge each of these energy beams until you're able to master that speed completely, and we'll continue with the next training.
For his next part, Daishenki would begin to travel through each of the 6 universes that had been restored, realizing that everything had returned to normal with the exception that none of the gods had returned, or that was what Daishenki believed, since in the same way, in an alternate dimension, the 6 supreme gods had decided to form a single warrior to end the dispute millions of years ago. I'm the fusion of all the supreme gods. At this moment, we plan to end the life of the useless Zeno-sama Daishenki. But Archon, with his great perception of energy, had been able to notice how Daishenki was traveling through the 6 universes that had returned. This is the perfect opportunity. I'm planning to finish with that damn priest once and for all. It's better now that he's with that dwarf. Archon, with his great power, was able to seal the 6 universes, without Daishenki noticing the powerful barrier that was.
Ugh, this is good. Apparently it's only been my stuff. I thought the supreme gods had revived in the same way.
Daishenki, at the moment of trying to get out of the 6 universes, was impossible for him. While on his back, he would feel an incredible pressure that would rise all over the place. That's right, the pressure of an extremely evil being. Daishenki, when turning around, was not able to see anything, because at the moment, Archon, with a powerful blow, was able to send him flying with incredible damage. Is that all the power of a priest? Don't make me laugh. Your power's pathetic. Apparently the power of the great priest were simple hoaxes.
Damn, I knew nothing was right. Apparently those guys have merged. For that reason, their power has exploded in an incredible way.
Both warriors stared at each other, so without warning, both began to exchange millions of blows for all the 6 universes. However, Daishenki, despite using all his guardian power, was not able to compare with the power of the fusion of all the supreme gods. So every blow Daishenki received caused incredible damage, while Archon had not received any blow in the whole battle. Archon, with a powerful kick, was able to send him to a planet, being dragged by a few rocks. Daishenki, at the moment of managing to stand up, would fall again, spitting out large amounts of blood due to the damage he had caused.
Damn it, apparently this will be the end of me. I don't have the necessary power to defeat him.
For this part, Boaster would notice how the energy of one of the pillars of these universes was rapidly decreasing, so he would call Goku.
You've trained for about 10 months. It's time for you to have your first fight. I trust you. Don't forget that the divine purest energy runs through your body.
Boaster would expel some of his power, being able to crack the dimension again. The entire dimension of the time room had been completely destroyed because Boaster's simple power was of an incomprehensible level compared to the beings of these universes, which could not be considered even gods. I used to despite the inferior beings who called themselves gods. Oh, ironic, now I live in their world. At the moment of leaving the dimension, Boaster, with his great dimensional change, was able to reach the 6 universes that had revived again. So at the moment, Goku was surprised to realize how the warrior he had to face was able to completely humiliate Daishenkin, one of the 5 most powerful warriors of the 12 universes.
Boaster, please help him! I know that your power is capable of this and much more, but really, even if I want it, I don't have the required power to face him.
As I've told you, you have nothing to fear. The highest quality blood runs through your body, and I'm sure that your power is capable of defeating this idiot.
I really don't know yet what you're trying to tell me regarding my blood, but I think I'm getting the hang of it, and then I'll give it my all.
How pathetic, the great priest has fallen. I thought you were much more powerful.
At the moment, Archon was able to pierce through Daishenkin's chest, causing too much blood to fall to the ground.
Don't worry, I'll be sending Zeno-sama's useless one soon, just like your kids.
Before Archon's able to completely disintegrate him, Goku with a powerful kick was able to send him to a planet, which was, with the simple impact, would be completely destroyed, which even left him surprised.
Wow, that's my power? I can't believe it! But it's not time. Daishenkin's about to die.
Goku would move with Boaster, leaving Daishenkin, quickly return to the battlefield while Boaster would observe Daishenkin.
Even for me, it's funny. I never thought that I would help beings whom at the time I considered simple worms. I've changed so much since my defeat.
Boaster, with great power, was able to get Daishenkin to heal his wounds completely, even giving him a little more power. So after a few seconds, Daishenkin would wake up completely shocked because he'd remember how Archon was able to cross his chest.
What the hell? I should be dead. I can't believe it. Yeah, you better thank Son Goku, because if it weren't for him, you wouldn't have been saved. He asked me because you're one of the pillars of these universes. Are they to Goku? Was he the one who saved me? But who are you?
Daishenkin would be taken out of his thoughts upon realizing as a gigantic power would rise through the 6 universes. That's right, Goku's incredible power would begin to be released, because Goku would then begin to access the Ultra Instinct, an incredible aura would rise all over the place, while an amazing pressure was able to be felt all over the place.
Apparently Son Goku's training's paid off. I'm sure he'll be able to beat that stupid fusion. No. Matter how powerful Son Goku is, the warrior he's up against can't be taken at face value, as he was able to beat me. Praised out of respect of Son Goku's request, I've saved your life, so you'll have to ask to shut your mouth and watch the combat.
Daishenkin, when he was about to say something, would feel an incredible terror, observing the cold gaze of Boaster who was staring at him.
What is this terror that runs through my whole body? Even with Archon, I didn't feel this. Who is this warrior? Even if he doesn't release his power, I'm sure he's capable of beating me.
Daishenkin would think all this, since with his simple gaze, Daishenkin wasn't able to speak, because of the incredible terror that the warrior had in front of him. For his part, Goku would continue with the increase of his energy, so at the moment of an incredible explosion, Son Goku's big silver hair could be seen, as well as his silver-colored eyes, imposing respect on any warrior that put on his forehead.
I'm sorry for the wait, I'm just not used to using 100% of my power. Now yes, I'm ready to fight!
I don't know who you are, but I'll not let you leave this place alive, since you have interfered in the revenge towards the entire Divine Kingdom, and for that reason I'll finish with you.
Both warriors began to exchange thousands of blows for all the 16 universes. That's right, both warriors were moving through all the universes at a great speed, which would leave Daishenkin very surprised he wasn't able to observe all the blows, since the speed of both had completely surpassed him.
What's going on here? I'm not able to assimilate how Son Goku's power's risen in an incredible way, in this short period of time. Son Goku's training started to pay off. It's been a great idea. Train his reflexes, then raise his power to the maximum. He's ready for the next evolution.
The battle of both warriors seemed to be very evenly matched, but the battle went on, it could be observed how Archon's power began to decrease. Although it was minimal, this was with the course of the battle, it was essential, since the difference in attacks as well as the power of his fist began to be noticed. Because at the moment, Archon was able to send Goku flying with a powerful blow, dragging him over a few rocks, while Goku with incredible speed would hit back, creating a great chaos that spread all over his round.
Even I'm not able to assimilate all the power I've been able to get in this short period of time. So these are the results of training with the guy who's been able to surpass the kings completely.
Archon would stand up, but too much blood was spreading all over the place, as Goku's punch contained an incredible power.
Damn it! Who is this guy? His punches are even more powerful than those of Daishinken.
Archon, difficult, would stand up, releasing much more power since he couldn't stand the humiliation that the warrior who does not belong to the divine world was able to humiliate him.
Well, apparently you still have the energy to keep fighting, and I want you to show me the real one of the fusion of the 6 gods of destruction.
Damn, I'll finish you!
Archon, with great fury, rushed against Goku, but the difference in powers on this occasion was evident. Since Goku was able to dodge each of his blows, so at the moment, Boaster's voice would resonate all over the place.
Goku, end his life. You've already proven that you're superior to that garbage in every possible way. We have to go back to continue training.
Archon, who had noticed the presence of the subject, furious being underestimated, threw himself against Boaster. So Daishinken would get into a battle pose, however Boaster would pass by Daishinken, staying in front of him. The instant Archon would execute his blow, his fist turned into simple ashes. That's right, the simple aura of Boaster was much superior to the power of Archon, so his fist would be in contact with his aura, they would completely be destroyed.
I have nothing to tell you, since right now you'll die.
Boaster would expel a little bit of his incredible power, with which it was enough to completely disintegrate him, leaving absolutely nothing of that fusion. Daishinken's gaze radiated absolute terror. He could not believe that a warrior with that power exists.
How have you been able to eliminate the fusion of 6 supreme gods, using only his aura? The warrior is even able to beat the great Zeno-sama in his combat form.
Goku would appear next to Boaster, so at the moment, he would return to his base state as there was no danger.
Master, why have you deleted it? He was my opponent. He didn't have the right to do it.
It's not time to play with scum. We have to make you much more powerful. But it's time to tell you your true origin, and the power of which you are the only heir.
Okay, let's get back to the training. But before that, let's accompany Daishinken to the Kingdom of Everything. And by the way, I want to say hello to my friend Zen.
I understand, but let's not be so long.
Everyone had left for the Kingdom of the All, so by the time they arrived, both Zenos had rushed towards Goku.
Goku! Long time no see! Tell us, why have you come to visit us? Yes, don't you want to play with us? It's not that, Zeno. Just that I've been really busy training, and for that reason, I haven't been able to play with you guys again.
However, while Goku was talking with both Zenos, Boaster was analyzing the entire Divine Kingdom, realizing that it was very similar to the kingdom from which it comes. It's not its size, since the kingdom of Nagami and Kira was thousands of times larger, but at the essence, it was very similar to the kingdom from which it came.
This can't be possible. I understand that these guys are also considered gods in their world, but to get this essence is absurd.
Instantly, a mental power would be activated in the depths of his mind. Boaster, if you are seeing this, it's because you've reached the divine kingdom of the beings whom you considered inferior. It has the same essence since the universe is designed from the evolution of our little sun. You will be the warrior who will destroy the greed of my sister. The mental power would end, so at the moment, Boaster would fall to the ground, placing one of his knees so as to not fall completely.
So my lord already knew everything that was going to happen. Did he even know that I was going to train him to such an extent, and we would come to this place? I have to come back much more powerful to Goku.
Meanwhile, on the planet of Beerus, Vegeta, with his great training of Whis, was able to become much more powerful. And at the end of his training, he was meditating until he was able to control his internal energy completely. So at the moment, all this happened, an incredible purple aura would rise all over the planet, while his power did not stop growing. That's right, the Prince of the Saiyans was able to master the energy of a god of destruction, being able to access a new transformation. Well, apparently Mr. Vegeta has been able to access a new transformation. It amazes me the power he's able to release to be his first time.
Hey Whis, the power that Vegeta's releasing, it's about the energy of a god of destruction, or am I wrong?
No, Mr. Beerus, you're not mistaken. The power that Mr. Vegeta is releasing is about the authentic power of a god of destruction.
I'm surprised by the power Vegeta's gained in this short period of time, but he'd be better to master that power completely so he doesn't have any energy drain. Wow, the power I've been able to get's amazing. I'm sure that with this power I have, I'll be able to beat Kakarot.
I agree with you, Vegeta, but only if you're able to master that power 100%, since the energy consumption's also incredible.
Mr. Beerus, how about we battle to test my new power?
You get a little power and you already want to face the most powerful god of the 12 universes. That's okay, I challenge your exception. I'll finish you. Instantly, both warriors got into a battle pose, so at Whis' command, both moved quickly, starting to exchange hundreds of blows all over the place. The power of both were enough to even destroy planets in one blow, but the planet of the god Beerus to the special being was able to withstand that and much more. Vegeta, despite possessing great power, wasn't able to connect any effective blow to Beerus, with which a big smile would throw thousands of spheres of energy, which Vegeta, with his great speed, would be able to evade. But at the moment, Beerus, from his side, was able to connect a big blow to his head, which made him fall to the ground with an overwhelming power, with which he almost knocked him out of combat. The destruction in his path was incredible. Vegeta, I must admit you have incredible power, but you're still not up to the power of a god of destruction. Much less my power, since I'm the most powerful of all the 12 gods that exist. You better keep training. Beerus would turn his back to the Saiyan, who, with his pride shattered, would stand up again. But he had returned to the Super Saiyan, but with an incredible scream, he was able to expel much more power, accessing the Ultra Ego again. I'm the Prince of the Saiyans, and I'm not gonna give up so easily. Vegeta, with great anger, rushed against Beerus, which both began to fight, but when Vegeta expelled much more power than his body was able to withstand, his speed had been compromised, since it had decreased in a great way. Beerus, realizing his strategy, he would be able to take that energy vein and begin to destroy. He would decide to knock out the Prince of the Saiyans, and with great speed was able to. Whis, please heal him, as his energy veins are about to be destroyed. As you order, Mr. Beerus, but the power that Mr. Vegeta has shown is incredible. I didn't think he'd be able to get all that power in this short time. Returned to the kingdom of the whole, Boaster, along with Goku, had left to continue with his great training, while instantly Boaster would begin to tell the true story of his parents, which surprised son Goku, while his power began to rise. Goku was releasing a gigantic power, so much so that this time the same dimension would crack in an incredible way. So moments after an explosion, the dimension had completely collapsed. However, Boaster would try to do everything necessary so that his power would not be able to cause destruction in any of the 12 universes. Damn, I didn't think that telling her origins would be able to generate this. I don't have to allow any being to live to be affected by this power. Boaster would also begin to raise his power, with the intention of counteracting the power equaling it to that of Son Goku. However, to his surprise, despite the fact that Goku's power was much lower, he'd been able to completely overshadow it, because on this occasion, the essence of the first creator god had been represented to its maximum splendor. Damn it, I'm not going to be able to repel his power, since the energy of all this great power is his original power, the power of an authentic king. But instantly, an incredible barrier was able to envelop the entire kingdom of the whole, while from the top of everything existing, the figure of her mother and Queen of Destruction would become present, or rather, a small essence of Kira. My little Zumaro, how long it's been since, even though your father and I held in that barrier, I have been able to channel my little energy to prevent you from continuing to release more energy. It is not yet time for you to face the Upper Kingdom. The sword goddess, with a slight blow to his neck, was able to knock him out of combat completely, so he would begin to approach towards Boaster. Boaster, I really have to ask you for an apology. You were never of my trust, but I realized the words that Nagami said to me on her behalf, and I'm also very grateful to you for taking care of our little. My lady, don't worry. For me taking care of little Kakarot, this has been one of the best experiences I could have ever had, so there's no problem. I charge it to you, Boaster. Train it, since the entire divine higher realm is in complete chaos, and with the tyranny of Fria, no warrior will be able to save himself. Don't worry, my lady. When Kakarot is ready, I myself will show you the way to the divine upper kingdom, or, as the beings of this world know it, the lost kingdom of the immortals. Kingdom of the immortals? It doesn't matter what warrior he is, every subject has a weakness, and therefore, every warrior is capable of dying, even those considered immortal. Kira's essence would instantly vanish completely, while Kakarot had been knocked out completely from his mother's simple blow. My lady has been able to recognize me after millions of years. I have to return to Kakarot, the most powerful warrior that the Divine Upper Kingdom has ever had. Meanwhile, in the Upper Kingdom, Kira was able to open her eyes, realizing that the barrier that Nagami's sister Fria was still in her orbit. While two guards were guarding that barrier, for her part, Nagami did not say any words, but her look was gloomy completely.
Nagami, don't lose hope, the warrior who is able to rise among all the divine beings of the upper realm.
No, Kira, even I, the perfect warrior, the most powerful warrior, was defeated and the worst thing was an ambush by my own sister.
Nagami, Zumaru is in perfect condition. I've been able to see him with the divine energy that you've provided me in these millions of years.
Nagami's countenance would change completely, but instantly her sister would fall to the barrier to be able to observe her brother.
Nagami, but how pathetic that you made me fall, and for all the strongest of the Upper Kingdom. But don't worry, we will end your existence very soon.
What did you say? Was he not to be sealed for the rest of eternity?
Ha! That's funny. Is a powerful warrior like you afraid of death?
That has left me surprised, but yes, you are right. We will finish with you, and since we do not have unlimited energy to maintain the powerful 5-pole seal, Fria would leave the barrier, so she was surprised both warriors. For her part, Nagami, using all the power of the sacred OZARU, was able to send a powerful mental energy, which would only be perceived by Boaster. Boaster, I don't know how much time they have, but Fria wants to end our lives. If we don't have the required energy, we won't be able to do anything. Our life is in her hands. I'm counting on you, my most faithful warrior. No, I'm not gonna let the king die. This information I have to tell Kakarot, so that he takes his training much more seriously. Goku was still out of combat, so energy would start flowing through his body. That's right, Boaster would start healing him completely. Right now, Kakarot is only asleep, so I have to be able to wake him up. I've been able to give him all his power back. Boaster, of a much powerful blow to his stomach, was able to wake up Goku from a great pain.
What the hell is wrong with you, Boaster? Why are you hitting me?
We have to take a much more powerful training, since your parents are about to die, and if their premonition is correct, this happened in 10 years. So in that time, you must have been able to overcome the maximum power of a king at all, even being able to adapt the power of a maximum stage angelic destroyer.
What? What do you mean my parents are about to die? I can't believe that.
But in that case, please trust me. Train Vegeta and Gohan the same way. No, Kakarot. If we train those insects, we won't be able to advance. We have to make the most of as much time as possible.
Trust me, Boaster. The hidden power of Gohan and Vegeta is amazing. I'm sure they won't let you down.
Okay, I'll give you 2 years for you to train them completely. But in this room, which would be 2 days in the outside world.
That time is more than enough. Don't worry.
Goku would leave the time room at a high speed using his teleportation, arriving in front of Vegeta, who was training on the gravity machine. But you're Kakarot, what's you supposed to be doing here? I'm training.
Vegeta, I need your power for a great war that's coming. Even a warrior will train us, and his power surpasses Zeno-sama himself.
What did you say? He even surpasses all-powerful King Zeno-sama.
That's right, but we have to go to training right now.
It's okay, Kakarot, since even I wanted to train on my own because I felt that my power was no longer increased in an amazing way with the training of Whis. Both Saiyans would leave for Gohan's house, in which they were able to find him.
Gohan, we require your power because if we lose this battle, all of us will die completely. What happened this time, Father? Is he a new enemy? I don't feel the presence of any mighty warrior.
No, Gohan, but it would be better for you to come with us, since we really required your power, as well as your intelligence will help us in the next battle.
It's the first time I've watched you seriously, Father. And it's okay, I'll go with you because if even you are nervous, it must be something very dangerous.
The trio of warriors at a great speed would leave back towards the time room. So the instant they entered, an incredible pressure would fall on the trio of warriors. Vegeta and Gohan, being their first time, had fallen to the ground without being able to move in the least. Kakarot, I told you, no matter how powerful your friends are, they'll never be able to compare to the power of the divine upper realm. But Boaster instantly was surprised to realize how Vegeta had been able to release an amazing power, Well, in his veins of energy ran the power of Yasper, one of Fria's elite warriors. That's right, the rank of the highest level had become romantically involved with the goddess of a lower rank. So the mestizos had start even among the gods. Vegeta's power on this occasion would rise in an amazing way, to be able to be under the pressure of a god of the higher kingdom. Vegeta, of an incredible scream, it was able to access the Ultra Ego, but the power he gave off was crazy.
Wow, what's this power supposed to be? Or was his training really able to grant me this incredible power?
I'm surprised by the power you've been able to release, but apparently even you didn't know that all that great power was sleeping inside you. You will be perfect. Boaster observing Gohan, he would notice how the color of his eyes would turn a red color, similar to those of his lord, while a power much more impressive than Vegeta's power would be released all over the place. While his hair changed to an imposing white, like his power, it had no point of comparison.
And you, by the power that you've been able to release, I could tell that you're the son of Son Goku. So that means that you're the real grandson of my lord.
You're correct. I'm the son of the warrior named Goku. But which lord are you referring to? Even at the age I am, I've never met my grandparents. Gohan, Vegeta, I know it's something difficult to understand, but I come from the Upper Kingdom. My father and my mother were the most powerful warriors of everything existing. But even before I was born, I was able to have some of the warriors betray her and was taking my life.
Exactly. So the essence of the little Kakarot would arrive on the planet Vegeta, being able to adapt a new power as well as a new body. But your body, Vegeta, you even possess energy from the higher realm, so they'll be able to achieve great powers.
I don't understand anything, but I have to eradicate warriors to get that in front of me. I'll do it. That's no problem at all.
In that case, we'll start with the training right this instant. At the moment, the trio of warriors had been affected by a much more powerful pressure. That's right, the pressure was even capable of breaking each of their bones. While on the other hand, in the kingdom of the whole Zeno-sama was very thoughtful, which Daishinkan would notice.
My lord, I've noticed that for some time now that you're very thoughtful. Is there anything bothering you? Because if that's the case, I could take care of whatever you want.
No, Daishinkan. I just think about how warriors who even surpass my power have been able to reach these universes. I'm not able to understand it.
Wow. You're thinking about the power of that Boaster, the incredible power that he hides. And of course, he clearly comes from the last Lost Kingdom.
Exactly, Daishinkan. I, as the king of everything, I have to be able to notice everything. Even the warriors have great powers, but that warrior terrifies me.
Don't worry, Lord, because even Son Goku meets that warrior.
For her part, in the Extra Kingdom, Fria was very thoughtful. Something about all this I don't like, because I'm sure my brother's not afraid of death, since he's been able to defeat the god of death on 7 occasions. What is happening? But one of the most loyal warriors would enter his castle. That's right, Yasper would arrive before Fria.
My lady, we've been able to detect an energy somewhat similar to that of your brother in the many universes.
Although I may be stupid, we have decided to inform you. The warrior with that power, similar to my brother Kira and my brother, a little upset by his death, all this must be connected. Fria would be put on out of her thoughts to her warrior to speak again.
My lady, is everything all right?
Do you want us to take action, or we just let it pass? Yasper, you are my right-hand man. Even at the time, you were considered one of the 4 kings of the entire omnipotent kingdom. So I want you to grant you the mission of the warrior with the power similar to my brother. Do you think you are capable of achieving it?
My lady, you don't have to worry about that, as I will do everything in my power. So with your permission, I'm retiring.
The subject at a great speed would leave towards the universe where he'd been able to feel the energy of Nagami. Returning to the room, in that place 3 years had already passed, in which the warriors had already been able to achieve incredible powers, while Boaster's power would also rise in an amazing way.
This is amazing. I never thought that a simple workout would be able to make me more powerful. My lord, please reset a little more.
Boaster, I don't know my perception with the energy is stable, but I am able to feel a powerful warrior is approaching this multiverse, and by the speed and power he possesses, I can tell that he belongs to one of the greater universes.
Boaster would begin to concentrate in order to be able to feel the energy of the supposed warrior.
No, Kakarot, apparently you're mistaken.
as I'm not able to feel any energy. All this must be overtraining, so Boaster wasn't able to finish speaking because at that precise moment, he was able to feel the incredible power of Yasper. That's right, Fria's right hand, just like one of the ancient kings was heading towards his location. No, damn, if he continues with his current speed, he'll arrive in one day from the outside world. While in here it'll be a year, we have to increase our powers much more. All the warriors would continue with their training because, in the case of losing, all the universes as well as their inhabitants would be completely destroyed. A great power was still approaching all over the vast outer space, which Boaster had realized that his power was still the same as before, so he would relax a little. You must train since you'll take care of that warrior, since all of us born with incredible powers never require training, and that's what Yasper has done since his power remains the same.
That means we have to be able to beat that guy.
You're correct. His power remains the same, while I've been able to recover my power, as well as increase it in an incredible way thanks to the training.
It seems like you're finally a worthy opponent, since being our partners, we're not able to use 100% of all our power.
This'll be very interesting. My Saiyan blood is burning with excitement.
But don't trust, because the warrior you're going to face, he has millions of years of experience in battle, so you shouldn't trust.
We know that, Boaster, so we just have to wait for that damn worm to arrive.
Boaster would continue to train all the warriors, while for his part, Yasper was getting closer every time. However, he's already a few months away from reaching his destination. For a being of omnipotent energy, he was completely nothing, while for mortals, it was a part of his entire life. Aye, the right hand of the first omnipotent god will grant you eternal youth, so that your body will not be affected by time. You will remain young forever. Boaster would make a large amount of omnipotent energy flow through each of the warriors, with which every vein of his internal system, he was able to assimilate all the omnipotent energy. So even his muscles had coupled with the essence of an omnipotent god, they had been able to possess the eternal youth that characterizes a god of the upper kingdom. With the essence I've granted you, you'll never grow old, but remember, you are not immortal, because if you suffer serious damage, you will still end up defeated.
This is amazing! We'll always be able to possess our bodies to the maximum power, but I want to fight already.
I agree with Kakarot. The approaching warrior must be powerful, for you and Boaster to have been able to feel his energy at such a distance.
I'm ready! I feel that with this new power, I'm able to beat whoever stands in front of me!
The time had passed quickly in which Yasper had been able to reach the kingdom of the All, of the almighty Zeno-sama. So a great pressure had fallen on his entire castle, so Daishenkin would go out to see who it was about.
Wow, the pressure that is released is incredible. But tell me, who are you?
So you're considered the gods of the lesser universes. You don't even serve as toys of the children of our reign. You better get out of the way. Daishenkin, before saying anything, a much more powerful pressure would fall on his entire body. His bones would be completely destroyed, so Zeno-sama instantly felt that overwhelming pressure, was able to access his combat state quickly, leaving his castle quickly.
What's going on in my multiverse? I don't know who you are, but if you've been able to bend Daishenkin, that means that you possess a great power. So I ask you, in the kindest way possible, please withdraw from our multiverse.
Don't make me laugh. It's true, you have a much greater power than this pathetic priest, but despite that, you won't be able to do anything against me.
I'm not going to repeat it again. Please leave my priest free and leave our multiverse.
Yasper, with a blow of air, was able to send Daishenkin flying to a planet. And what'll happen if I refuse? Since you don't have the required power to confront me, you're a simple warrior of these pathetic universes. But Zeno-sama, with an incredible speed, was able to connect a blow in the face of Yasper, which was able to send him flying to a planet, destroying everything in his path. So, Zeno-sama would approach his maximum speed again.
This guy completely surpasses me in power, but I don't have to let him recover since I was able to catch him off guard.
Zeno-sama would not waste his opportunity, so he would start giving him millions of blows all over his body. which began to cause a few scratches, as Yasper not being able to release his power.
Celestial Atomizer.
An incredible attack combining with the energy of eliminating a king completely would be thrown against Yasper, which would be completely reached. Zeno-sama, at the moment, would spit out some blood using much more power than his body was able to withstand.
Yeah, that hurt me too much. So this is my limit as a king at all. I have even trained in alternate dimensions, but apparently my power is no longer able to increase in a great way.
But all over the place, an incredible aura would rise up all over the 12 universes, while a much more amazing pressure was able to kneel all the warriors without any exception, was even able to crack millions of dimensions. What a pathetic multiverse. With this bit of my power, I've been able to assault the same dimension, whereas in our reign, it even takes an elusive power to at least generate a crack in the universe.
Damn, I feel like my body's too heavy. I'm not even able to move. The pressure it's releasing completely dulls me. I won't be able to do anything.
The blows you gave me have not caused me the slightest damage. The last attack was even able to make me bleed. I'll never forgive you for that, you damn worm. Yasper, with an incredible speed, would begin to massacre the powerful Zeno-sama, which looked like a punching bag since it wasn't able to do anything against the warrior. Zeno-sama would be sent to a great planet, but with a simple impact, it would be completely destroyed. Even if it is, try to stick your hands in to defend yourself, because if you keep this up, you'll die. I'm getting bored. Zeno-sama, although he had made his best effort to try to defend himself, he wasn't able to achieve it, because this time the power of his enemy completely overcame him. Zeno-sama began to fall all over the universe. You don't even serve me for warming up. When I finish my mission, I'll destroy this whole universe that doesn't possess any powerful warrior. A large sphere of energy was approaching towards Zeno-sama, but as it was about to collide with his body, a powerful blow was able to completely disintegrate it. While from all the fire generated from the energy, Yasper was able to recognize the first commander of Nagami. You're the Boaster, the supreme commander of Nagami. I don't care with that, you're here. Your power was stripped away, so I'll finally be able to sweep the floor with you. Yasper would move at an incredible speed against Boaster, but to his surprise, Boaster would stop his punch with only one of his hands, while his aura would rise in an unreal way. Be grateful that I'm not here to end your life, but you've made a mistake, because by letting me touch you, I've been able to eliminate all attempts at communication with the upper world. That doesn't matter to me. I'm one of the ancient rulers, and currently right hand of the mighty Fria. I can't lose against you. You're a bug by my side. Yasper, without assimilating the power of his opponent, would throw himself against him. However, Boaster only dodged each of his blows with great precision, not granting him any blow, but with a slight expulsion of energy, he was able to move him away a little. You're lucky that I'm not your opponent, as your opponents will be my 3 disciples. Don't say stupid things. Warriors of this universe will never be able to do anything against us. But I was surprised to realize how the 3 warriors possessed the essence of gods of the upper kingdom, and the one with purple hair even possessed a little of his essence. What the hell? Who are these warriors? It's not possible that simple worms of these universes are capable of possessing the essence of a true god. FYI, with the multiple pills that hold the essence of the gods and a little bit of my divinity, they were able to awaken their divine energy in full. That doesn't interest me, because in that case, it's not a pure energy like ours. So right now, I'll eradicate them. Yasper had rushed against Goku first. However, an audible aura would rise all over the place, making him retreat a few meters, while in the same way he was able to notice how the essence of the most powerful god ran through his entire body, which would make him fill with an incredible terror. That's not simple energy pill, since its essence looks a lot like that of the descendant. That must be impossible.
It's a shame that that's just what's happening. I'm the firstborn of a mighty god, Nagami and Kira.
No, this must be a nightmare. Kira lost the baby because of an energy date. So, you're telling me is a fucking crazy.
I don't care if you believe me or not. You just have to know that this very moment I'm planning to end your life.
We know that your power surpasses us, but right now, we're planning to resort to teamwork, so get ready!
Gohan would instantly expel all his power, reaching beast mode, but the power that was released by each of the universes was amazing. So much so that on this occasion, he'd been able to surpass even Daishinkan.
Boaster, can you up Daishinkan and Zeno, please?
Okay, you guys worry about the battle. I trust you. Show me the fruit of your trainings. Boaster was able to get to Daishinkan, who was on his knees, because the pressure of all the warriors did not allow him to move freely. But instantly, he was able to feel warmth throughout his body. That's right, this time Boaster had healed each of his wounds and was also able to grant him a little omnipotent energy so that he would not be affected by the pressure of the warriors.
I really appreciate it, Boaster. You've helped me already on 2 occasions.
You have nothing to worry about, since I would likewise give my life for my lord, and that is just what you've done. You have my respect. Boaster at the moment was also able to heal Zeno-sama, but not being used to his combat state, he had returned to normal.
Thank you very much for caring for us, but will the Saiyans be able to defeat him, since after all his opponent is being of the higher realm?
Don't worry, they'll be able to beat that damn worm. The Battle of the Warriors was about to begin, but Yasper, without trusting himself, was able to release all his power, with which a red aura spreads all over the place, while Yasper at a great speed would begin to fight with each of the warriors. But surprising as it may seem, the trio of warriors was able to face him. That's right, this time they even began to grant him some excellent blows. From a quick coordination of the warriors, Vegeta and Gohan were able to hold his limbs, so Goku, from an incredible blow of the god OZARU, was able to cause him incredible damage, while at the moment a serious devastation caused on one of the planets of the mighty kingdom of the All.
I can't believe the power they've been able to get in this short period of time. Even we weren't able to do anything against him.
Apparently training with a warrior of the higher realm, he's able to give these results, since the individual power easily surpasses us.
From the crater formed, a lightning would rise all over the place. While Yasper's anger would rise to incredible levels, however, multiple energy veins were completely destroyed due to this. His power had decreased in an incredible way, not managing to increase his power much more.
Damn worms. I'm a powerful warrior of the upper realm who cannot perish in this place. I'll have to be able to come back alive. You're a damn threat.
It's a pity that you won't be able to get out of this place alive.
If you're able to bleed, you could die. So it doesn't matter how much power you possess. If we combine our powers, you won't be able to do anything.
The trio of warriors, having their power almost complete, were able to give him a beating. But the clash of their fists were at flashing speeds. That's right, only Boaster was able to keep up with the rhythm of the battle, while Zeno and Daishinkan only watched each of the flashes generated by their fists.
Wow, I'm not able to completely see anything. The speed and the power of the Saiyans has increased in an unparalleled way.
After all, I have been his teacher, so it's normal that his powers have grown this way. Returning to the battle, Yasper was lying on the ground completely, while vomiting large amounts of blood, as his internal system had been completely destroyed.
As far as I understand, there's even the god of death, so send him a greeting from me, damn good-for-nothing.
Goku would direct his last blow against Yasper, but at that instant, Boaster was able to stop his blow with a little difficulty. We cannot end their life, because if we do, the Higher Kingdom will have the information that the lesser universes, there's a warrior capable of murdering them.
But if we're not able to end his life, what'll we do?
We'll use the same sealing style they used with your parents, Kakarot.
An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. I think it's great, Boaster.
Boaster in front of Yasper would observe him on the verge of death. So instantly, he was able to create that imposing seal with a part of his power which was enough to leave him incapacitated, while his energy was drained.
Higher divine realm, I hope you're prepared for his death, as we'll get you to where you're very soon.
With the defeat of Yasper and having completely imprisoned him, his life sign would be still intact. However, the divine upper realm, Fria, the king of the entire upper realm, was very upset because she had not obtained any report from Yasper. However, at the moment, the entire kingdom would be completely shaken because Fria was furious.
No damn, I'm sure something has happened since even the damn Kira has been able to laugh in my face. I'm planning to get the information out of her.
Fria at a great speed would leave towards the center of the Divine Kingdom, which was the most protected place, as the two most powerful warriors of all existence were captivated.
What's going on, Fria? Is your plan about to fall apart? I never thought to see you with that scary face, but tell me, what are you afraid of? We are not able to do anything. Damn stupid, you even knew I was coming. You won't stay like this. They're up to something and I'm not going to let them get away with it.
Sister, you better free us before the real war starts, because if you do it right now, I can even think of sparing your life.
Don't say stupid things, brother. Even if you are able to free yourself, you will never be able to do something against me.
Fria would leave Frutada, having not been able to get answers. However, she had reinforced security threefold, since for every meter, 2 guards were in the place. Apparently something's happened in the lower universes, since it's not common to see Fria like this. And this only means that our little Zumaro is about to reach the upper world.
Yes, Nagami, and you don't know how happy that makes me. I want to sweep the floor with all the bastards who made fun of us.
On the other hand, returning to the lesser universes, the trio of warriors would begin with their last training, with which at the end they planned to enter the upper world. The power they've been able to achieve this is amazing, but they should also not be trusted, since the most powerful god of all was betrayed by his family.
Understood, Master, but believe me, I don't mind giving my life. I won't let my parents die prisoners.
Kakarot, you're not alone, because in the same way, if those bastards are powerful, we'll become much stronger.
I agree with you, Father. I'm not going to let my grandparents be slaves.
Apparently we're ready for the last training.
Not like that.
Boaster was instantly able to create a golden-colored seal, but when that seal was activated, an amazing pressure would fall on the entire place where they were. It's time for you to master the gravity of a destroyer king of maximum power. Vegeta would try to oppose gravity, yet vomited too much blood, because each of his organs had been completely destroyed. By simple gravity, Vegeta, about to die, would be healed with the help of gravity itself.
What the hell? What's supposed to be going on?
To inform you, gravity itself is capable of ending you. It's also capable of healing you, since Saiyan blood runs through your veins. And being on the verge of death, you get an amazing power. Taking advantage of that to your advantage.
That's something a little sinister, since the last training apparently is that every one of our organs and bones are completely destroyed.
You're partially right, but this is the gravity that warriors are capable of generating. Among them, the kings of each of their countries. So master it.
I thought that I already was powerful, but if the warriors are able to release this great pressure, I'm not able to cope with them yet, so I have to prepare.
Gohan was the first to stand up, expelling all his power. Although each of his organs were completely destroyed, Gohan would put a knee on the ground. But with an incredible scream, he was able to access his God Beast state, with which he was able to withstand a little gravity.
I wanted to let you know how much gravity I was able to withstand, since my goal was able to withstand it in only my base state.
Gohan would return to his base state, concentrating to be able to master gravity.
That's when I was able to tell you about Gohan. If we're able to master it in our base state, when we transform this gravity to be a simple breeze.
This is getting very interesting, and I plan to use a lot more power since I'm the Prince of the Saiyans. I'll not let simple worms overcome me.
The effort that each of them are putting in is amazing, but Kakarot is the warrior that stands out the most. And that's normal because the energy from my lord runs through his veins. Meanwhile, returning to the upper realm, Fria had called a meeting with the 2 of the elite kings. That's right, kings who were on the same level.
What's on offer, Fria? Don't you know that each of us has things to do? If it's something stupid, I'm not interested. And you being considered the queen of the entire Upper Kingdom, I'm planning to beat you up.
That's practically impossible for you. Even though we have almost the same power, my power is still greater than yours, so I could completely crush you. The eyes of both would cross, so at the moment they were not able to exchange millions of blows all over the place. But this was different since they did not cause devastation.
That's enough!
We've come here because Fria's asked for an emergency meeting, but if the emergency was to start fighting between you, I'm leaving. Both warriors then would put their fighting aside, but Fria would leave for his place with a great anger, since she had not been able to bend him. So I've gathered them in this place. I'm afraid Nagami and Kira are about to escape. I know it sounds impossible, but it's a hunch. What? Are you telling me that you made us come so far on a simple hunch? You're pissing me off, Fria. Ryota would return to observe him with a serious look, with which he imposed an incredible authority, which was able to make him fall to his knees while trembling completely. You better calm down if you don't want me to end your miserable life once and for all. You and Fria are filling my patience. What did you say, Ryota? I understand that in the past even my brother respected you. I don't know what it was due to, but you respect me, since I am capable of finishing you. Why don't you try it? If between the two of you you're able to grant me a single blow, I'll leave and I'll do everything you ask of me. Don't need to have the help of that useless bastard Miyamura. I alone can end your pathetic existence once and for all. Fria threw herself against Ryota, but to her surprise each of her blows were dodged with incredible precision, which filled her more and more with anger, because the entire Divine Kingdom considered Fria the best warrior was being humiliated in the worst possible way. Since her enemy did not even attack her, Fria would take a little distance. Attack me, damn! This is not a battle! If you have the ability to attack me, do it! Or are you only able to dodge? Apparently the myths were true. The powerful Ryota was the only warrior capable of facing the powerful Nagami. And between them, they were able to form the entire Divine Upper Kingdom. I had attacked you because out of respect to your brother. But if that's what you really want, get ready, because I won't hold back. Ha ha ha! Do I respect my brother? Don't say stupid things. That worm isn't capable of doing anything, as we were even able to seal it. They were able to seal it, or did Nagami let himself be sealed on his own? Don't forget that together with Nagami, we were the first gods, so our knowledge is almost infinite. Fria, at a great speed, again rushed against Ryota, but to her surprise, Ryota, without flinching, was able to hold her by the neck tightly, managing to neutralize her completely. Despite Fria releasing all her power and large extortions of energy are released all over the place, Ryota's grip did not let go. And it was surprising because she was only using her physical strength. You better tell me the reason for your call, because if you keep having such stupid tantrums, I'll cut your head off myself. Ryota, of a slap of spiritual energy, was able to send her flying to a great planet, which destroyed everything in its path by the blow of Ryota. Yamura, do you want me to try to hit me, or will you follow the rules? No, Your Majesty, I ask for an apology. I'll follow the rules. Fria, at that instant, would stand up, and thanks to the help of a pill, she was able to recover completely. But this time, she would no longer attack Ryota, as she was able to notice how her aura had grown in an unreal way. Damn it, I swear that in the future, I will be able to end the life of that dam. I would only think this. So, Fria, I ask again. What's the reason for your call? Apparently Nagami and Kira are about to leave the Divine Seal that are able to create millions years ago, or they may have outside help, as I have sent one of my elite warriors to a simple, lesser universe and lost contact completely. This is too strange, because if they had omnipotent energy, we'd be able to perceive it. A simple warrior without the omnipotent energy is a simple worm. Ha ha ha! If that's his concern, I'm leaving, since I never agreed with the betrayal towards Nagami and Kira, but I won't get in the way of his plans either. Ryota would leave the place, leaving only Fria and Yamura. That damn old man, he'll pay me. I don't care that he's lived for millions of years. In the future, I plan to crush him with my own fists. Fria, we've had our problems, but if what you're saying's true, it doesn't suit me either. So we must do something before all this becomes a war. You're right. It'll be better to prepare our best soldiers to tell them to prepare for the invasion to the lesser universes. Fria, are you sure? In the lesser universes, our omnipotent energy is limited, because in such universes, the omnipotent energy is very poor. I hadn't thought about that, but then, do you recommend waiting in case some warrior is able to reach the upper realm? Indeed, Fria, because if he possesses the power beyond a king of the whole of his pathetic universes, the divine rules, they have to promote him, since an existence more powerful than his king cannot exist in his universe. I understand, but in that case, I want all of you to be ready for a possible war. For her part, in the barrier, Nagami would give a big smile, while the red aura would travel all over her body, completely, even leaving Kira surprised.
Nagami, how is it possible that you are able to release your aura
if we're supposed to be in this damn prison that seals our powers?
Kira, I'm sorry, but I always knew that this would happen because with the power of my Emperor Eye, I'm able to see the future. But if it wasn't this way, our dear son would have died at the hands of Fria.
You leave me shocked by your words, Nagami, but if you have kept it a secret for the welfare of our little son, I have no reason to be angry with you.
Kira, are you ready to get out of here? I don't have the power that characterized me because, although I can release my energy, this prison has been able to seal 95% of my veins.
But will this be safe? Oh, why don't we wait for Zumaru to come for us?
We'll give him the opening at the moment of the final battle for the position of the entire Upper Kingdom will begin.
Returning to the Room of Time, the warriors have been able to completely master gravity. Even Vegeta and Goku were able to achieve a new transformation, in which their omnipotent energy was released in an amazing way.
It's time. All three are ready, so at the time we'll head to the Upper Kingdom. My body's shaking with excitement. I never thought I'd be able to face warriors who are capable of overshadowing me in my power, but I'm ready.
I plan to support my father in everything that happens. Boaster, we're ready. Please, we take to the Upper Kingdom.
At this very moment, we'll enter the Upper Kingdom.
Boaster, with great power, was able to create a black hole with which the entrance to the upper world. At the moment, the four warriors began to be able to cross the portal. The warriors at the border rushed against the four, having clear indications, but their leader was surprised to realize the presence of Boaster.
By his expression, you know me, so you'll know my praise since it's not time for anyone to find out that we've reached the Upper Kingdom.
Boaster, with a quick movement, was able to end the life of the chief of the soldiers, while the trio of guerreros were able to finish off the other soldiers without difficulty.
It's time. Release your power so that the whole Upper Kingdom knows that warriors with the omnipotent power have come to this place.
Okay, in that case, I'll start, but I won't use my maximum power. Only the Ultra Instinct to its full power. I have to save my most powerful transformation.
Goku, from a great scream, was able to create an incredible silver aura all over the place, while an omnipotent power would be perceived by the entire Upper Kingdom.
What the hell? Whose power is this?
It's not a big deal, but they are the beings from the lesser universes.
It's my turn.
Vegeta, with a great scream, would begin to rise all his power. That's right, like Goku, Vegeta would begin to access the Ultra Ego, and with a great purple aura, he was able to access his transformation, leaving the kings of the countries amazed to know that he is not a single warrior.
How? Is there more than one warrior of the lesser universes with the omnipotent energy? That can't be possible.
But at that instant, the incredible power of Gohan would be still released, although it was not as high as that of Goku and Vegeta. In the same way, he was able to defeat several elite warriors. The warriors began to transport themselves to the place where those powers had been released.
It's time to destroy this damn barrier.
Nagami, with a little of her power, was able to destroy her great barrier, making the entire upper realm rumble, while aside, Kira would likewise release a little of the power she had been able to collect. At the precise moment that both Saiyan warriors, the shadow creatures, collided their attacks, the explosion resulting from the collision of the attacks left a crater on the battlefield, while a dense smoke obscured the view. Amidst the haze, Goku, with a serious but confident expression, and Vegeta, also with a confident expression of having destroyed the shadow creatures with his attacks, stood on guard, ready to face whatever emerged from this smoke. Suddenly, as soon as the smoke dissipated from the battlefield, the shadowy creatures emerged unharmed, floating in the air with an even more intense presence. Their forms twisted, revealing an even darker and more powerful transformation. Now, with eyes glowing with a more intense light, the shadow creatures uttered a great malevolent laugh and moved towards Goku and Vegeta with renowned ferocity. The sky was covered with dark clouds, and lightning intermittently illuminated the scene. The creatures, once scattered, began to converge into a chaotic mass. Their bodies intertwined and merged, creating a monstrous entity that emanated a dark and malevolent aura. The fusion of the creatures was completed with a loud roar, and before Goku and Vegeta emerged, a nightmarish creature. The fused creature had a grotesque figure, with twisted limbs and glowing eyes filled with evil. Its body was enveloped in a halo of dark energy, which distorted the space around it. The ground shook with every step he took, and the waves of evil energy generated chaos on the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta exchanged determined glances. They knew they faced an unprecedented threat. The fusion of the creatures had given rise to a being of incredible power and speed. Goku frowned, clenching his fists, while Vegeta gave a cocky grin. Kakarot, looks like things have become interesting. I didn't expect to have to face something like this. Yes, Vegeta, this creature's no joke. We're gonna have to give it our all. Both warriors raised their ki to the maximum, surrounding themselves with an intense golden and blue aura. Their hair stood on end and the earth trembled under the pressure of their combined power. The fused creature responded with a guttural laugh and advanced towards them with great strides. Come on, Vegeta, let's attack together and put an end to this! For once, Kakarot, I agree. The battle reached its climax as Goku and Vegeta, enveloped in their golden and blue auras, launched themselves towards the fused creature. Every punch and burst of energy echoed through the air, creating a spectacle of flashes and booms. The creature, however, was not easy to defeat. Its agility and strength were astounding, dodging the Saiyan's attacks with ease. Vegeta, we need to find an opening in its defense! Focus! I know, Kakarot, but this thing's fast! The fused creature responded with a ripping attack, sending the Saiyans flying across the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, however, quickly recovered and stood up with renewed determination. We can't underestimate this thing! Come on, Vegeta! Let's attack together! Alright, Kakarot. Together we'll defeat it! Goku nodded and they concentrated their energies into an amazing combined attack. A brilliant flash of light and blue light materialized in their hands, growing with each second. The fused creature, seeing the imminent threat, tried to counterattack, but it was too late. Kame! Final Flash! The powerful beam of combined energy shot towards the fused creature, illuminating the dark battle with its radiance. However, just when impact seemed inevitable, the creature, in the last act of desperation, deployed a dark shield that managed to resist the Saiyan's assault. The result explosion sent Goku and Vegeta flying backwards, returning them to their base form, leaving them dazed and severely injured on the ground. The fused creature, though weakened, struggled to its feet, its malevolent aura flickering, but far from fading completely. Vegeta, we're in trouble! This thing's stronger than we thought! Vegeta, however, lay motionless on the ground with visible wounds and his aura rapidly diminishing. Vegeta! Don't give up, Vegeta! The fused creature, slowly recovering, calmly approached towards Vegeta with a palpable malevolence in its glowing eyes. Your efforts are futile. I'm the amalgam of darkness itself. This is the end of you, Saiyan Prince. Goku, full of rage and despair, stood up and threw himself towards the creature with what was left of his strength. However, the creature, with a simple wave of its hand, unleashed a wave of dark energy that enveloped Kakarot and threw him violently to the ground. Vegeta, we need a plan. The fused creature approached Vegeta, lifting him off the ground with one hand. The Saiyan Prince, barely conscious, opened his eyes to meet the cold, merciless gaze of his energy. Kakarot, do whatever it takes. The fused creature, with a contemptuous gesture, threw Vegeta back to the ground, leaving him on the verge of death. The battle, which had begun with hope, now became bleaker than ever. With his partner down and his own strength waning, Kakarot faced a strength that seemed insurmountable. Goku, sensing the desperation of the situation, recalled the hermit seeds he carried with him. The moment the fused creature came speeding towards him, Goku managed to dodge the blow swiftly, approached Vegeta and handed him one of the valuable seeds. Vegeta, eat this! It'll give you the energy to keep fighting! At the same time, Goku also consumed one of the seeds. Vegeta, barely conscious, accepted the seed and consumed it urgently. The Hermit Seed acted quickly, healing Vegeta's wounds and restoring his life energy. Flashes of golden light surrounded the Saiyan Prince. As he stood up, his eyes were gaining determination.
Kakarot, don't underestimate me. I can keep fighting.
Fine, Vegeta, but we need something else to defeat this creature. Do you remember the fusion technique? Vegeta frowned but nodded in understanding. Both Saiyans positioned themselves in front of the fused creature, focusing their energies. Vegeta, let's do it! Let's merge!
I don't think it'll come to this, Kakarot, but I have no choice.
Both warriors stood side by side, raising their hands into the front and began to concentrate their energies. The atmosphere was filled with a brilliant glow as the two Saiyans merged into a single entity. The resulting figure was a perfect combination of Goku and Vegeta, with a powerful golden aura enveloping their fused bodies. This fusion creature showed signs of unease as it witnessed the transformation. The new Saiyan entity turned to it with a determined look. The fusion between Goku and Vegeta, known as Gogeta, and his Super Saiyan form was now evident. Gogeta, with the combined voice of Goku and Vegeta, said, "Prepare for defeat. We're the fusion of the Saiyans, there's nothing we cannot overcome." With a unified shout, the Saiyan fusion lunged towards the fused creature with incredible speed and power. The battle between the Saiyan fusion and the fused creature erupted into a frenzy of power and skill. Every move, every blow, every burst of energy shook the battlefield. The earth trembled under the intensity of the confrontation, and the sky lit up with the sparks of energy released during the fight. Gogeta, with the combination of Goku's cunning and Vegeta's determination, proved to be an unstoppable force. However, the fused creature did not yield easily, showing a resilience that defied expectations. Both contenders were at a stalemate, each pushing their limits to the max. Goku and Vegeta, in their fused form, began to feel the need to unleash more power to overcome their formidable foe. In a moment of perfect synchronization, both Saiyans raised their ki to the limit, and the atmosphere itself began to be distorted with the built-up pressure.
It's time to take this to the next level!
In a dazzling flash, the Saiyan fusion underwent an astonishing metamorphosis. His once golden hair now turned sapphire blue, and his aura took on a heavenly hue. The transformation to Super Saiyan Blue had taken place. The fused creature recoiled momentarily as it witnessed the new form. Shocked by the magnitude of the power unleashed, however, the Saiyan fusion showed no mercy and lunged towards with dizzying speed.
Prepare for true Saiyan strength!
The attacks and counterattacks reached a speed that defied perception. The fused creature, despite its previous endurance, was outmatched by the speed and aggressiveness of the Saiyan fusion in its Super Saiyan Blue form. The battle had not yet come to an end. In a final attempt to resist, the fused creature unleashed its own dark power, enveloping the Saiyan fusion in a spiral of chaotic energy. Gogeta, in response, concentrated his energy to the maximum in an act of rage.
Let's go farther!
The energy surrounding the Saiyan fusion intensified and exploded in a dazzling burst. The bright blue aura became more intense, and the power of the Saiyan fusion increased to unimaginable levels. The sky lit up with glows and waves of energy as the fused creature faced Gogeta's unstoppable strength. However, in an unexpected twist, the creature began to build up a dark and sinister energy, revealing a hidden power.
Your resistance is impressive, Saiyans, but you have not seen my true potential.
The fused creature transformed, its fusion distorting further. A black aura filled with malevolence surrounded its body as its eyes glowed with terrifying intensity.
What the hell is it doing?
The fused creature, now imbued with a new dark power, lunged at Gogeta with surprising speed. Despite Gogeta's formidable strength in his Super Saiyan Blue form, the fused creature seemed to be able to anticipate even more.
Now you'll experience true darkness.
Gogeta sensed the threat, deciding to take his own power to the extreme. In a blink of an eye, he activated the technique, the Kaioken. His blue aura multiplied into a mixture of blue and red, and the intensity of the battle reached levels never seen before.
It's time to put an end to this! Kaioken!
Gogeta's speed and strength multiplied exponentially, and the fused creature was momentarily caught off guard. However, the creature counterattacked with a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gogeta, but he struggled to resist. Gogeta, in his Kaioken state, felt the need to raise his power even higher. Thus his ki increased, causing the earth to tremble from such immense power, destroying mountains and lifting rocks into the skies. At that precise moment, he disappeared from the sight of the fused creature, appearing from behind and creating a glowing bluish sphere of energy that materialized between his hands.
Final
The energy sphere impacted against the fused creature with unparalleled force. The resulting explosion lit up the sky, dispersed the creature's dark energy. However, when the light faded, the fused creature emerged once again, albeit visibly weakened.
Do not underestimate my power, Saiyans. I have attained a form beyond your comprehension.
Gogeta, sensing the gravity of the situation, prepared for the next confrontation. The battle, far from over, was entering even more dangerous terrain, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance in this fierce struggle between light and darkness. The battlefield was plunged into utter chaos, with destructive shockwaves reverberating throughout space. Gogeta, with his combined aura of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken, was moving at speeds that defied perception. The fused creature, despite his new enhanced form, was momentarily outmatched by the Saiyan warrior's speed.
Darkness cannot defeat light. It's time to seal your fate.
Though weakened, the fused creature did not give up. With impressive speed, it lunged towards Gogeta, unleashing a series of dark attacks that even defied the Kaioken's speed.
Your light is but a fleeting glimmer. In the eternity of darkness, you will suffer.
Gogeta, with sharp reflexes at precise moments, will dodge the fused creature's attacks. The battle reached an even greater frenzy, with a clash of fists and kicks creating waves of energy that swept the surrounding landscape. The once dark and stormy sky were illuminated by the flashes on the contest. In the beginning of the moment of opportunity, Gogeta channeled the Kaioken to an even higher level. His aura became more intense, mixing blue with red in a dazzling display. Seeing the new burst of power, the fused creature recoiled momentarily, a moment Gogeta took advantage of to gather energy.
This is the limit of your darkness. Prepare for the end.
Gogeta, with unmatched speed, appeared in front of the fused creature, concentrating his energy to a single point. A glowing sphere of energy formed between his hands, but this time, the sphere was not blue, it was a mixture of colors. A fusion of the power of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken.
Kaioken 20 times! Final Kamehameha!
The now larger, more powerful energy sphere hurled with impressive speed towards the fused creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the entire horizon, causing the mountains and valleys to be enveloped in a dazzling glow. When the light faded, the fused creature lay defeated on the ground. Its dark aura completely dissipated. Gogeta, with his Super Saiyan Blue form and Kaioken still activated, watched cautiously. The intense battle had come to an end, but the price of the confrontation was reflected in the devastated earth and the wear and tear visible on the Saiyan warrior.
I hope that was enough. This universe can't take any more of this destruction.
With a flash, Gogeta deactivated the Kaioken and returned to his base form. As silence descended over the battlefield, the lingering question was whether the threat had truly been eliminated or if there was still challenges to be faced in the vast cosmos. Goku and Vegeta, feeling that the threat had been neutralized for the moment, separated from the Saiyan fusion. The intensity of the battle had left both Saiyans exhausted, but their attention was diverted to a disturbing reality. In the corner of their vision, they watched as a small dark creature made its way towards where Gohan and Broly were standing. Vegeta, something's happening! We must get there fast!
Those two are in trouble if that thing gets to them. Let's go, Goku!
Both Saiyans, despite their exhaustion, dashed towards Gohan and Broly's location with as much speed as possible. As they approached, they could see the dark creature getting closer and closer to the two warriors. Gohan, who was training with Broly in an attempt to increase his skills, noticed Goku and Vegeta's arrival urgently.
Dad! Vegeta! Something's coming!
Broly, with his piercing gaze, had also sensed the approaching threat.
Evil creature, we will fight!
The small dark creature, noticing the presence of the Saiyans, stopped advancing and displayed a malevolent laugh.
Ha ha ha! Your victory was short-lived. This is only the first of many surprises.
Before they could react, the dark creature split into multiple smaller shadows, surrounding Gohan and Broly with astonishing speed.
Watch out, Broly! They're fast and dangerous!
We will fight!
We won't let them defeat us.
Goku and Vegeta, arriving just in time, joined the battle. The battle became a chaotic dance of blows and explosions as the Saiyans fought the dark shadows that multiplied endlessly.
Let's finish this quickly. Gohan, Broly, stay strong.
Got it, Vegeta.
Broly, unleashing his titanic power, emitted a wave of energy that temporarily dispersed the dark shadows. However, the dark creature, in a final act of desperation, merged back into a larger, more powerful form.
My shadows cannot be so easily defeated. The real battle has just begun.
The shadow creature, now strengthened and more menacing than ever, faced the four Saiyan warriors with palpable malevolence. Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta moved into battle stance, facing the shadow creature with determination.
Come on, guys, let's work together and put an end to this menace once and for all.
Broly growled in agreement, his power emanating from him with an imposing force. Goku and Vegeta, despite their earlier exhaustion, raised their energies ready for the battle ahead. The shadow creature, with a sinister laugh, lunged towards them with surprising speed. The Saiyans responded with a coordinated assault, launching energy blasts and performing combo attacks. However, the shadow creature was agile and dodged their attacks with ease.
We can't let this thing get away. Concentrate on attacking together.
You're right, Vegeta. If we fight them as a team, we can overcome anything.
The four Saiyans synchronized their movements, attacking in harmony. Broly unloaded titanic blows. Gohan used his agility and advanced techniques, while Goku and Vegeta coordinated their energies to create a combined assault. Despite their efforts, the shadow creature proved to be resilient and adaptable. It defended with cunning and counterattacked with fury. In a moment of tension, the shadow creature unleashed a dark glow that enveloped its form, transforming to an even more powerful and monstrous version.
It's getting stronger again!
It doesn't matter. I'll destroy it.
The battle intensified as the shadow creature in its enhanced form launched waves of dark energy and unleashed more devastating attacks. The Saiyans, however, did not back down. Despite the gravity of the situation, their determination burned stronger than ever.
There's no limit to our strength when we fight together. Come on, guys, we can't lose.
This thing doesn't know who it's messing with. Get ready for what's coming.
Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta channeled their energies to the maximum, shaking the earth under the intensity of their combined power. In a unified act, the four Saiyans raised their ki to the limit and lunged towards the shadow creature with indomitable resolve. The shadow creature, now in its strengthened form, unleashed a dark energy that enveloped Broly, possessing the mighty Saiyan with a malevolent influence. Broly, his eyes now awash with shadows, stood before the other Saiyans with a menacing presence.
Broly, I won't let you be used as a puppet. We must save him. We won't let this thing manipulate Broly. Come on, guys, let's protect ourselves and save our friend.
This is getting more complicated than I thought. But no matter, we won't let the darkness win.
The battle began with the shadow creature using Broly's immense power against them. The controlled Saiyans' attacks were fierce, with waves of energy and bursts of ki that challenged even the most experienced warriors. The Saiyans dodged and counterattacked, but the shadow creature took advantage of Broly's brute strength to counter his moves.
We must weaken it enough to free Broly! Dad, Vegeta, let's follow the plan and attack in unison!
The three Saiyans coordinated, launching a series of swift and powerful attacks. However, the shadow creature moved with agility, dodging most of the blows and countering with blows of its own. Broly, under the influence of the dark possession, was showing superhuman endurance.
It's not enough! Broly, fight against this influence!
We must force him to break free. We're gonna give it our all.
In a moment of desperation, the Saiyans decided to raise their powers to the maximum. Goku transformed into Super Saiyan second stage, Gohan advanced his mystical form, and Vegeta unleashed his own power into Super Saiyan second stage. The three Saiyans surrounded Broly, launching a combination of flurry of powerful attacks.
Broly, resist! Don't let their darkness consume you!
The shadow creature, feeling the combined presence of the three Saiyan warriors, showed signs of weakness. However, in a desperate act, the dark energy intensified its hold on Broly, raising its power even higher and unleashing unbridled fury.
We can't give up! We're going to free Broly, whatever it takes!
The battle reached its climax as the three Saiyan warriors, Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta, clashed against the shadow creature possessing Broly. The unleashed energy created a spectacle of flashes, explosions, and shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Goku, with his power as a Super Saiyan, moved with astonishing speed, launched energy blasts and accurate punches at the shadow creature. Gohan, in his mystical form, unleashed a combination of fast attacks and advanced techniques, seeking to weaken the dark possession that controlled Broly. Vegeta, in his Super Saiyan second phase form, displayed titanic power, coordinating his attacks with calculated precision.
Broly, listen to my voice! Don't be consumed by this darkness!
The shadow creature, however, resisted tenaciously, harnessing Broly's brute strength and ferocity to counter the Saiyan's attacks. Broly, under the dark possession, responded with unstoppable strength, his attacks more intense and uncontrolled.
We need to weaken that possession! Come on, guys, keep up the pressure!
This dark power won't last forever. We must resist.
The battle grew more frantic. With each passing moment, the shadow creature, sensing the threat of the Saiyans, intensified its hold on Broly, fusing its dark energy with the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan.
We can't back down now! Broly's our friend, and we won't let this darkness control him!
In a moment of perfect synchronization, the three Saiyans focused their energies into a coordinated attack. Goku launched a Kamehameha, Gohan unleashed a Masenko, and Vegeta fired a final flash, all aimed at the shadow creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the battlefield, creating an energy storm. However, when the light faded, the shadow creature Broly still stood, visibly weakened but far from defeated.
It's not enough! We must find a way to free Broly from this possession!
At that moment, the shadow creature, taking advantage of the Saiyan's momentary weakness, launched a surprise attack, sending Goku and Gohan to the ground. Vegeta, with his rage in his eyes, stood up determined.
Enough's enough! We won't let this thing continue to manipulate Broly.
Vegeta concentrated his ki to the maximum, unleashing a new transformation. His intense blue aura transformed into an even brighter and more powerful hue.
Super Saiyan Blue!
The atmosphere itself seemed to tremble at the magnitude of the transformation. Vegeta, now in his evolved form, launched himself towards the shadow creature with renewed speed and power. Vegeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Evolved caused a dramatic change in the intensity of the battle. His bright blue aura flashed with overwhelming energy as he charged towards the shadowy creature and Broly, who was still under his influence.
It's time to put an end to this. Broly, I'll fight to free you from this darkness.
The shadow creature, sensing the threat posed by Super Saiyan Blue, adopted a defensive stance. On the other hand, Broly, his eyes still darkened, prepared to face Vegeta. Vegeta unleashed a flurry of quick and precise attacks, combining punches and kicks with astonishing speed. Each move was charged with the strength of the new form, and the shadow creature was forced to retreat in the face of Vegeta's fury.
Broly, regain control. I'll not allow this darkness to consume you.
Broly, under the influence of the dark possession, responded with impressive stamina. His attacks were brutal and uncontrolled, but Vegeta moved with a dexterity that defied expectations.
I need to find an opening in this possession.
In an act of bravery, Vegeta launched himself directly towards Broly. Their fists collided forcefully, and Vegeta, using all his skill, made precise strikes that temporarily weakened the dark influence.
Broly, fight this! You're stronger than this darkness!
The shadowy creature, seeing Vegeta's resistance, increased his energy and fused even more with Broly. Now the dark influence was more entrenched than ever, and Broly unleashed an explosion of wild power.
You can't stop me, Saiyan Prince!
Vegeta, not backing down, continued to engage Broly. The battle reached new heights as both warriors unleashed their most powerful attacks. Vegeta launched a Big Bang attack while Broly responded with a gigantic charge of dark energy. The collision of energies generated a huge explosion that blanketed the area. After the dust settled, Vegeta lay on the ground, clearly exhausted but not giving up.
I can't lose. My determination's stronger than your darkness.
The battle between Vegeta and Broly, who was possessed by the shadow creature, reached a critical point. The overflowing energy of the confrontation was spreading across the battlefield, distorting the air and creating palpable tension. At that crucial moment, Goku found himself regaining consciousness, stood up, and immediately went to Saiyan Prince's side.
Vegeta, let's go! Let's give it all we've got!
Goku's transformation into Super Saiyan Phase 2 and joined the fray. The shadow creature, seeing the arrival of another Saiyan warrior, prepared to face the new threat.
Kakarot, you're just in time. This thing has gotten stronger with Broly.
We'll face it together! Broly, We won't let this darkness control you.
The three Saiyans stood in formation, ready to deal with the shadow creature fused with Broly. The intensity of the conflict increased even more with flashes of energy and clashes of fists echoing throughout the battlefield.
Come on, Kakarot, let's attack in unison and free Broly.
I got it, Vegeta. Together, we'll free him.
The Saiyans coordinated their attacks, launching a combined blast towards the shadow creature. Despite their efforts, Broly's dark possession was still resisting, fueled by the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan. Broly, under the influence of the shadow creature, unleashed an uncontrolled fury. His attacks were unpredictable and devastating, putting the Saiyans on the defensive. Goku, Vegeta, and the shadow creature continued to exchange energy blasts and powerful blows.
Vegeta, we must break that possession. We can't let Broly fall into darkness.
Roger that, Kakarot. Let's keep attacking together.
Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, the fiery aura of the Saiyans lit up the sky, a visual manifestation of their mammoth power. Goku and Vegeta, feeling the weight of the battle, decided to take it a step further. They joined their energies in a symphony of power, a final bid to tear apart the shadows enveloping the evil presence. The shadow creature on the brink of the abyss responded with desperation. It raised its own power and the darkness churned with intensity as it struggled to resist the combined onslaught of the Saiyans. The clash of energies created a cataclysm of flashes and booms, shaking the battlefield to its core. At that critical moment, the energy explosion was unleashed with dazzling magnificence. The earth shook, and the shockwaves swept across the landscape, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, enveloped in the blanket of the explosion, were momentarily eclipsed by the blinding light and dancing shadow. When the shimmering luminosity faded, the Saiyans found themselves faced with a new scenario. On the ground lay Broly, his figure shrouded in a residual haze of the contest. The dark aura that had consumed him had finally dissipated. Stillness reigned on the battlefield. As the warriors approached with worried looks, the formidable warrior who now resisted, his power darkened, finally silenced.
We did it, Vegeta. Broly's free.
Yes, but this shadow creature's still a problem. We can't let our guard down.
Vegeta nodded grimly as they watched Broly, who lay on the ground, slowly recovering from the intense battle. However, at that moment of apparent calm, the shadow creature, cunning and unnoticed, had left Broly's possession to seek a new host. The dark entity swiftly swept into the shadows, unnoticed by the Saiyans, who still assessing their companion's condition. Silently, the shadow creature crept towards Gohan, who had been watching the battle from a distance. Gohan, oblivious to the threat looming over him, felt a shiver run down his spine just as the shadow creature enveloped him with its dark presence. A momentary flash of its eyes indicated that something was terribly wrong. At that instant, Gohan, with a sudden alteration in his expression, went on guard without warning. His gaze, now posed by the shadow creature, glowed with a malevolence that contrasted with his gentle nature. Goku, noticing the sudden tension, turned towards Gohan, but before he could react, Gohan, under the influence of the shadow creature, moved with supernatural speed. The confrontation with Broly had left the Saiyans exhausted, and the shadow creature, seizing the opportunity, vanished into the darkness along with Gohan. Vegeta, realizing the situation, gritted his teeth in fury. The threat persisted, and now Gohan, a valuable ally, was in the hands of the shadows. Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for a new confrontation, aware that the battle had not yet come to an end. The tension in the air was palpable, as Goku and Vegeta, still worried about Broly, with determination, turned towards the place where the dark entity had vanished.
Damn it! Where'd that thing go?
I don't know, Vegeta, but we must find it before it hurts Gohan.
The two Saiyans, quick as the wind, rushed towards where Gohan had been standing, their senses alert. The shadow creature, now inside Gohan, emerged from the shadows with a sinister laugh.
Looks like they're not as cunning as they thought. Now I have a new toy for my plans. Get out of Gohan, you damn creature!
I'll not allow you to possess my son!
Ha! You think you could stop me? My power possesses even more of your combined forces. Do not underestimate the Saiyans. We have overcome greater challenges than you.
Leave Gohan and face your fate, creature. You'll not be victorious.
The shadow creature, now in control of Gohan, smiled malevolently before responding.
We'll see how long you can resist.
Gohan is now an instrument of my will.
The shadow creature possessing Gohan unleashed a burst of dark energy that distorted the surrounding space. Goku and Vegeta suddenly found themselves during a chaotic confrontation, with Gohan now transformed into an instrument of the malevolent entity. The waves of energy radiating from Gohan's possessed figure created an ominous aura that filled the battlefield, defying the Saiyans' endurance and determination. The Saiyans, in their Super Saiyan Blue form, prepared for the impending clash. The shadow creature, using Gohan's body, moved with supernatural agility, dodging the Saiyans' first attacks with grace and malice. Gohan, his eyes now filled with darkness, lunged at Goku with astonishing speed. Goku blocked Gohan's first few blows with difficulty, feeling the enhanced strength and speed of his new controlled son. The fight was intense, each move charged with power and ferocity. Meanwhile, Vegeta positioned himself strategically, assessing the situation, looking for an opening to attack. The shadow creature, through Gohan, unleashed a flurry of attack, which devastating blows that kept Goku on the defensive. However, Goku's ability to adapt quickly to the battle allowed him to counter the attacks and counterattack with his own overwhelming power. Vegeta, sensing an opportunity, lunged at the shadow creature from an unexpected angle. However, the dark entity had sharp reflexes and deflected Vegeta's attack with ease, throwing Gohan against Goku as a distraction. The shadow creature's strategy paid off, as it took advantage of the distraction to hit Vegeta with a beam of dark energy. Vegeta, although he resisted the impact, was momentarily weakened. The entity, now with a malevolent smile, turned to him.
Damn it! This isn't over, shadow creature.
Goku, reacting quickly, stepped between the shadow creature and Vegeta.
Vegeta, hold on! We can't let this thing divide us.
The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos at its zone, released a dark aura that enveloped both Saiyans. The dark energy sought to confuse and weaken their senses. However, the Saiyans' instinctive connection to Ki enabled them to resist the dark influence. The battle raged in a frenzy of clashing colors and energies. Gohan, controlled by the shadow creature, moved with a mixture of speed and agility that defied the laws of physics. Goku and Vegeta, each focusing on their own battlefront, were trying to coordinate their attacks to free Gohan from the dark possession.
Gohan, fight this darkness! You're stronger than this!
Gohan, though showing flashes of resistance, was caught in an internal struggle between his will and the shadow creature's control. The battle grew more challenging. With each passing second, the shadow creature reveled in its ability to manipulate and corrupt one of Earth's mightiest warriors. Vegeta, recovering from the earlier onslaught, threw himself back into the fray. The shadow creature, however, anticipated his attack and gracefully dodged Vegeta's attempts to strike it. The dark entity counterattacked with a series of precise blows that forced Vegeta to retreat.
Damn shadow, don't underestimate the Prince of the Saiyans.
Goku, seeing his partner's difficulty, raised his power to the maximum. Dazzling energy emanated from his Super Saiyan Blue form as he prepared for a concentrated attack. The shadow creature, noticing the glowing threat, diverted its attention to Goku.
Vegeta, keep up the pressure! I'm gonna concentrate my energy to free Gohan!
Vegeta nodded and increased his offensive, distracting the shadow creature as Goku concentrated his power. The fight reached a new level of intensity, with each move echoing across the vast battlefield. The energy collided, creating shockwaves that distorted reality itself. Goku, eyes glowing with determination, unleashed his most powerful attack. A sphere of glowing blue energy formed in his outstretched hands. Charged with the combined strength of the Saiyans, the spear grew in size and the power as Goku had held it in place.
It's time to free Gohan!
The shadow creature, realizing the threat, moved quickly to stop Goku's attack. Vegeta, taking advantage of the distraction, lunged with renewed fury, looking for an opening to attack. The battle reached its climax when Goku released the energy sphere, ascending it directly towards the shadow creature. The energy sphere burst into a dazzling flash, illuminating the battlefield with intense light. Shockwaves swept through the darkness as Goku's purifying energy sought to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession. However, as the light faded and the earth stopped shaking, the shadow creature emerged seemingly unharmed. The dark entity, now irritated, turned to the Saiyans with a twisted laugh.
Is that all you can do? My power is unbreakable.
Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for the next assault. The battle, far from ending, dragged on into confrontation of epic proportions. Darkness and light collided in an endless clash, with the will of the Saiyans resisting against the entity that threatened to plunge them into the shadows. The dark creature, after resisting Goku's powerful attack, showed a malicious smile. A dark glow enveloped Gohan, and his body began to tremble with intensity. A guttural scream echoed through the air as the dark entity forced a unique transformation on the Saiyan warrior. Gohan, under the shadow creature's influence, contorted and his body was enveloped in a dark, feral energy. The earth trembled with the intensity of the transformation, and Gohan's figure began to change. Defined musculature, red eyes, a wild gaze, long gray hair, and emerging in the new form, Gohan Dark Beast. Vegeta and Goku, shocked by the unexpected evolution, instinctively recoiled from the overwhelming presence of Dark Gohan Beast. The shadow creature had accomplished what it could not do with Broly, unleash a unique and uncontrolled transformation on Gohan. Dark Beast Gohan, now freed from any hint of rationality, roared skyward, emitting an overwhelming energy that shook the battlefield. His eyes glowed with an animalistic intensity, and his posture indicated that human control was suppressed.
This can't be happening. What did that thing do? The shadow creature managed to unlock something inside Gohan. This won't be easy.
The shadow creature, pleased with the success of its manipulation, watched the scene with satisfaction.
Now, witness my true power. The Saiyan Beast Warrior. How do you plan to stop him?
Dark Beast Gohan let out a deafening roar and lunged towards Vegeta with impressive speed. Dark Beast Gohan's attacks were ferociously savage, his brute strength and speed surpassing even Broly's most rampaging transformation. Vegeta, using his speed and agility, dodged Dark Beast Gohan's first attacks. However, the Saiyan Beast Warrior's ferocity was unpredictable, and Vegeta was forced to deploy all his skill to stay out of range of the devastating attacks. Goku, assessing the situation, transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and rushed to Vegeta's aid. The two Saiyans fought in tactical coordination, looking to open an opportunity to counter Gohan's savage new form. The battle became a whirlwind of energy, with explosions and crashes echoing across the battlefield. The shadow creature in the shadows continued to manipulate and fuel Dark Beast Gohan's fury. The Saiyan strategy was becoming more and more challenging as Dark Beast Gohan seemed to be one step ahead, anticipating their moves.
Damn it! Gohan Beast is too unpredictable.
We must find a way to free Gohan from this transformation. We can't let the shadow control his true power.
As the Saiyans faced Gohan Beast's fury, the shadow creature watched from the shadows, enjoying the chaos he had unleashed. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment, and the Saiyans' endurance was being tested in the face of Beast Gohan's uncontrollable fury. The battle raged on in a titanic struggle between light and darkness, with the hope of freeing Gohan from the influence of the shadow creature hanging in delicate balance. The Saiyans, determined to overcome this challenge, faced an enemy that had managed to unleash an even greater internal threat than before. While the intense battle raged on the battlefield, Piccolo, the Namekian sage, was immersed in his mental training somewhere secluded. His concentration was so deep that he could feel an abrupt shift in ki, a disturbance that reverberated through space and time. A shiver ran down his back, indicating the gravity of the situation.
Something's not right.
The Namekian instantly stood up, his cloak billowing as he focused on the direction of the glowing chaos. The power he felt was not just brute force. It was an amalgam of dark energies that seemed to defy the very essence of reality. Wasting no time, Piccolo prepared to approach this side of the conflict. Back on the battlefield, Goku and Vegeta fought valiantly against Dark Beast Gohan, who moved with uncontrollable ferocity under the influence of the shadow creature. The dark entity, sensing Piccolo's arrival, smirked.
Looks like we have a new guest. This just gets more interesting.
Goku and Vegeta focused on Gohan Beast, noticing Piccolo's presence as he appeared on the battlefield with a serenity that contrasted with the surrounding chaos.
What happened here? What have you done with Gohan?
That shadow thing possessed Gohan and transformed it into a wild beast.
We can't free Gohan this way. The shadow creature manipulates his power in unimaginable ways.
Dark Beast Gohan, noticing Piccolo's arrival, turned to him with wild eyes. The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos, prepared for the next act of this heartbreaking play.
Welcome, Piccolo. You're just in time to witness the inevitable downfall of these Saiyans.
Don't underestimate the Saiyans or my determination. I'm here to free Gohan.
The Namekian braced himself for the confrontation, deploying his ki with an intensity that made it clear he would not be a mere spectator in this battle. Dark Beast Gohan, fueled by the shadowy influence, roared and lunged towards Piccolo with a speed that defied all logic. The battle became even more chaotic with Piccolo's entrance. His movements were precise and calculated, contrasting with the wild ferocity of Dark Beast Gohan. Goku and Vegeta, aware of Piccolo's strategic skill, adjusted their approach to coordinate their attacks with the Namekian. Meanwhile, the Shadow Creature watched the battle with a Machiavellian smile, enjoying the confrontation between the forces of light and shadow. The Dark Entity was determined to prove that its influence was insurmountable. The fight unfolded in a whirlwind of colliding energies, with Piccolo demonstrating his tactical and strategic prowess. Dark Beast Gohan, however, remained a formidable challenge, his erratic movements and uncontrolled strength testing the tenacity of the warriors on the battlefield.
Goku, Vegeta, we need to plan to break the connection between Gohan and that Shadow Creature.
You're right, Piccolo. We need to attack from different fronts and destabilize that connection.
I'll take care of keeping Beast Gohan busy. Kakarot, you use the connection you have with your son to try to isolate the Shadow Creature.
Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their efforts with Piccolo's strategic expertise, went on the assault. Piccolo used his wisdom to be able to devise a way to get Dark Beast Gohan out of said possession, while Vegeta unleashed his fury with calculated attacks to keep the beast at bay. As the battle continued, the Shadow Creature began to feel the pressure of the combined strategy of the Saiyans and Piccolo. The connection between Gohan and the Dark Entity was under threat, and the Shadow Creature, despite its confidence, was beginning to show signs of concern. The battle was far from over, but the warriors' resilience was growing stronger in the face of the adversity that loomed over them. As Piccolo continued his mental struggle to free Gohan from the Shadow Creature's possession, his Namekian senses sharpened. Keen perception led him to identify a small shadow leech clinging to Dark Beast Gohan's lower neck, a detail that had not been evident in Broly's previous possession due to his long hair covering that region.
That's it. The key in this little shadow leech on his neck. We must eliminate it to free Gohan.
Piccolo's revelation attracted the attention of Vegeta and Goku on the physical battlefield. Vegeta, upon hearing this, turned his gaze to the back of Gohan Beast's dark neck and noticed the presence of the Shadow Leech.
A Shadow Leech? That explains why we couldn't free Broly this way.
How do we eliminate it without harming Gohan?
As Piccolo struggled to maintain his mental connection, he analyzed this situation and came up with a strategy.
If we attack the Shadow Leech directly, we might harm Gohan in the process. We need a precise way to eliminate it without endangering his life.
So what's the plan, Piccolo?
Goku, you've mastered Ultra Instinct, but you can only maintain it for a few seconds. We need to take advantage of those brief moments to distract Dark Beast Gohan and allow you to get close enough to destroy the Shadow Leech.
Understood, Piccolo. I'll do my best.
But how do we make sure Beast Gohan doesn't attack while Kakarot's approaching? That's the tricky part. We need to keep Gohan busy and distracted. Vegeta, your attacks must be precise and constant, keeping his attention on you.
I will, but Kakarot, don't make me regret this.
The battle resumed with renowned intensity. Vegeta went on the offensive, attacking Gohan Dark Beast with a series of swift and powerful blows. Gohan responded with ferocity, but Vegeta maintained agile, dodging his attacks while keeping the savage Saiyan warrior's attention. At that moment, Goku concentrated, channeling Ultra Instinct. An aura of flickering energy surrounded him as he activated the powerful transformation. His speed increased exponentially, allowing him to easily dodge Dark Beast Gohan's attacks.
Now, Goku, now's your chance.
Goku in his Ultra Instinct state moved with superhuman speed towards Gohan's rear. The Shadow Creature, still focused on the fierce confrontation with Vegeta, did not notice Goku's approach. This is my chance to end this! With pinpoint accuracy, Goku reached out his hand and touched the small Shadow Leech on Gohan's neck. The leech, upon being touched by the Ultra Instinct energy, began to fade, emitting a dark screech before dissolving completely. Dark Beast Gohan, losing connection with the Shadow Leech, shook violently, as if releasing himself from a trance. Vegeta, noticing the change, cautiously stepped back as Goku returned to his normal state. What happened?
Kakarot seems to have found a way to free you from that thing.
It was risky, but it worked.
Well done, Goku, but don't let your guard down. This Shadow Creature might have more tricks up its sleeve.
The immediate threat had been neutralized. The shadow creature, watching from the shadows, moving away unnoticed by the Saiyan warriors, was not about to give up, so the shadow creature set out to return to its master. After the terrifying moment that the Z warriors had experienced, Goku and Vegeta realized that Beerus and Whis were not on Earth. They had disappeared just moments before the shadow creatures appeared on Earth. This is because Daishinkan discovered that Zeno-sama had been killed by his father and immediately summoned all the angels and gods of destruction. In the majestic realm of all, Daishinkan, the high priest, summoned all the angels and gods of destruction of the existing universes. The atmosphere in the hall was unusually tense, and concern was reflected in the faces of those present. Daishinkan, with his usual calmness, prepared to share the disturbing truth he had discovered.
Angels and gods of destruction, the time has come to face a powerful truth. Zeno-sama, our beloved king of all, has been slain.
Silence fell over the hall. The angels and the gods of destruction exchanged looks of disbelief and dismay. No one expected that such a tragedy could occur, especially at the hands of someone so powerful.
My investigation revealed that the one responsible for this abominable act was Zeno-sama's own father.
The news resounded like a somber echo in the room. Everyone present processed the shocking revelation. The omnipresent figure of Zeno-sama, the supreme deity, had been shattered by his own protagonist. Mojito, Sidra's angel, spoke in a worried voice. How is it possible that a being as powerful as Zeno-sama's father could have committed such an act?
That is a question for which I still have no answers. But now we must face the consequences of this event. The stability of the multiverse is in danger.
Arak, the god of destruction of Quitella, asked, "And what measures will we take in the face of this threat? What'll happen to the throne of Zeno-sama?"
That is a question we must discuss and resolve. For now, the throne remains empty, and our duty is to maintain peace and balance. But before we make hasty decisions, we need to fully understand the magnitude of this situation.
Beerus and Whis prepared to inform the gods of destruction and angels of all universes about what they had witnessed while on planet Earth with Goku and Vegeta. The hall of the realm of everything was filled with celestial beings, each one expectant and worried about the news they were about to receive.
Attention everyone! We have crucial information to share about the events that have been unfolded.
Before we are summoned here, the father of Zeno-sama appeared on all the planets of the multiverse. Surprise was reflected on the faces of those present. Murmurs and whispers filled the room, as the gods of destruction and angels exchanged looks of disbelief. His visit was not simply to report the death of Zeno-sama. He announced the holding of the tournament that would determine the survival of the planets in each universe. Additional rumors filled the room, creating a constant buzz of concern. The gods of destruction and angels wanted to understand the implications of such an announcement.
He informed the rules of the tournament and the intentions behind such a competition, but it's necessary that we all work together to get answers and face this threat. It is time to join forces and overcome this crisis. The fate of our universes is at stake.
As the gods and angels absorbed the gravity of the situation, in every corner of the hall of the realm of everything, conversations and plans were brewing to confront the mysterious tournament that threatened to upset the balance of the multiverse. Uncertainty hung in the air, but the determination of the divine beings was determined to face the unknown that lay ahead. In the hall of everything, Daishinkan, the high priest, sensed the imminent arrival of extremely powerful entities heading for the different planets of the multiverse. His face reflected seriousness as he prepared to inform all the angels and gods of destruction present of the coming threat.
Gods and angels of destruction, the time has come to face a new and challenging threat. Entities of great power are headed towards the planets of our universes, and their goal seems to be a direct confrontation with the strongest warriors of each world.
The expressions of those present became serious. Aware of the gravity of the situation, Daishinkan continued with determination.
It's crucial that we move quickly to protect the strongest warriors of each planet, regardless of which universe they belong to. The threat we face does not respect universal boundaries, and we must act with unity to preserve the balance.
Vados, the angel of Champa, raised his hand. How do you plan for us to move, Daishinken? We each have responsibilities in our universes.
I understand the complexity of this situation, but the magnitude of this threat requires immediate action. I suggest that every angel and god of destruction move to the planets threatened by this unknown force. We must prevent the strongest warriors from being defeated before we can fully understand our enemies.
Sounds like a sensible plan, Daishinken. If we all work together, we can protect our warriors and gain more information about these powerful entities. Each angel and god of destruction nodded in agreement, accepting the need to act immediately. They moved quickly to the various planets, casting aside universal barriers in a joint effort to safeguard the multiverse.
May the wisdom and power of each of you guide this effort. Let us not underestimate this new threat. Our duty is to protect the existence of our universes.
With those words, the angels and gods of destruction dispersed, leaving the Hall of All in preparation to face a challenge that transcended universal boundaries and demanded the collaboration of all divine beings. Uncertainty hung in the air, but determination to preserve the balance of the multiverse guided the powerful beings in their joint mission. The angels and gods of destruction quickly teleported to the threatened planets, each determined to protect the strongest warriors on the various planets. In the blink of an eye, the skies lit up with flashes of divine energy as Awamo and Ewin, Cognac and Quintella, Matanu and Geen, Wissambiris, and the other angels and gods of destruction headed toward their assigned destinations. The planet Thraxis Nocturnae lay peaceful in the corner of the cosmos, its nocturnal luminosity radiating a tranquility that was about to be disturbed. In the vast space, Awamo the angel, with his small book in hand, and his god of destruction Ewin, an imposing figure with a stern gaze, detected the arrival of a shadow creature, a minion of Zeno-sama's father. The creature, shrouded in malevolent darkness, descended with malevolent determination towards Thraxis Nocturnae. Ewin, without hesitation, deployed his energy of destruction while Awano stood by, hoping to resolve the conflict without a bath of chaos. Creature, your darkness will not be tolerated in this realm. Stop your destructive plans. The shadow creature emanated a guttural growl, its presence emanating an unnatural energy that distorted the space around it. The space battle began with an explosion of opposing forces. Ewin launched destructive beams, while Awamo used his speed to dodge the attacks and assess the situation. Ewin, this creature's stronger than we imagined. We must be cautious. I know, Awamo, but we can't let him destroy Thraxis Nocturnae. We must give our best. The shadow creature, agile and evasive, responded to the attacks with dark energy waves that distorted space. The battle spread across the firmament, leaving traces of destructive energy in its wake. Ewin tried to anticipate the creature's movements. However, the shadow creature proved to be agile and adaptive, countering every strategy with an unmatched dark force. Our conventional methods don't work. Ewin, we need to combine our forces. I agree, Awamo. It's time to show them the true power of destruction. Awamo and Ewin merged their energies, creating a flash of light that defied the surrounding darkness. The shadow creature, perceiving the threat, intensified its own energy, generating a collision of cosmic forces that shook space itself. The battle reached a fever pitch, with cosmic explosions lighting up the scene as Awamo and Ewin struggled to contain the darkness. The struggle took place not only on the physical plane, but also on the spiritual one, where the will to protect Thraxis Nocturnae was pitted against the ruthless ambition of the shadow creature. The fusion of Awamo and Ewin unleashed a dazzling energy that eclipsed even the nocturnal luminosity of Thraxis Nocturnae. The gold and violet glow enveloped the divine couple as they prepared to face the dark threat looming over the peaceful planet. It's time to show the true extent of our power, Awamo. The shadow creature, aware of the growing threat, rushed towards them with supernatural speed. Awamo, with his keen perception, anticipated every movement of the creature, allowing the couple to dodge its onslaughts with heavenly elegance. Keep calm, Ewin. We must synchronize our movements to counteract their darkness. Ewin nodded and unleashed a series of destructive energy blasts that lit up the space around him. However, the shadow creature responded with amazing agility, dodging every attack with meandering movements. The battle became a cosmic game of strategy and speed. The angel Awamo and the god of destruction Ewin soon realized that in order to defeat this entity, they would need a coordinated attack that transcended the limits of their individual abilities. In a moment of perfect timing, they unleashed a gale of combined energy. Awamo channeled the energy of destruction while Ewin released violet flashes of destruction.
Focus your energy, Awamo. Let's get rid of this darkness once and for all.
Awamo nodded and joined the attack with determination. The fused energy of both angel and god turned into a spear of golden and violet light that pierced through space with an impressive speed. The shadow creature, caught in the torrent of power, let out a heart-rending howl as it was enveloped by the luminosity. The impact was abysmal, generating an expansive wave that shook the cosmos. The darkness that enveloped the creature began to dissipate, revealing its twisted and weakened form. Awamo and Ewin, exhausted but triumphant, stood on guard ready for any eventuality.
We have managed to contain their darkness, but we can't let our guard down.
The shadow creature, now visibly weakened, recoiled before the imposing presence of Awamo and Ewin. The light had prevailed over the darkness in the cosmic corner of Thraxis Nocturne. The divine couple remained firm in their duty to protect the planet that this creature wanted to destroy. However, the battle was not yet over, and the fates of the planets remained uncertain in the vastness of space. After the shocked combined attack of Awamo and Ewin, the space around Thraxis Nocturne was vibrating with the residual energy of the cosmic battle. The shadow creature, apparently weakened, remained suspended in the cosmic void, enveloped in a dark glow that seemed to absorb the surrounding light. The divine couple watched cautiously, aware that the fate of Thraxis Nocturne was still hung in the cosmic balance.
Ewin, something's not right. The darkness of that creature seems to be getting stronger instead of weaker. It seems that our attack has absorbed by her, but it shouldn't be possible. How can he transform our energy of destruction to his own power?
The shadow creature, now surrounded by a more intense aura, began to change its shape. Its twisted figure became more defined. His eyes shone with a malevolent lucidity. The darkness emanating from her was becoming denser, distorting the space around her.
You have underestimated my true potential, angel and god of destruction. Your energy has strengthened me beyond your comprehension.
The divine couple prepared for what was to come next, aware that the threat they faced had evolved. The shadow creature, now empowered by the absorbed energy, charged towards them with renewed speed and ferocity.
We need to be more cautious, Ewin. It seems that every blow we inflict makes her stronger. Understood, Awamo, but we can't allow this darkness to devour Thraxis Nocturne.
The battle resumed with increased intensity. The shadow creature attacked with bursts of dark energy that cut through space, while Awamo and Ewin responded with flashes of golden and violet light. The cosmic dance of lights and shadows painted an epic picture in the vastness of the universe. Each blow and backlash echoed like thunder in space, distorting reality itself. Awamo, with his keen perception, tried to anticipate the movements of the dark creature, but the dark entity proved to be unpredictable. Ewin, with his energy of destruction, sought to weaken the creature, but his attacks seemed to be absorbed and turned into an additional source of power.
Every time we hit her, her power increases. We can't go on like this. We must find a way to counteract his ability to absorb our energy. Do you have any ideas, Awamo?
Awamo pondered for a moment, his angelic mind working in search of a solution. Meanwhile, the shadow creature, aware of its opponent's confusion, took the opportunity to launch a surprise attack. A wave of dark energy enveloped Awamo and Ewin, distorting their perception and weakening their defenses.
Ha 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 ha! Your resistance is useless. I am the embodiment of darkness. His light cannot prevail before me.
The situation was becoming more and more desperate for the divine couple as they struggled to resist the shadow creature's attacks. Awamo turned his attention to the small book he always carried with him. An idea began to form in his mind.
Ewin, I think I have an idea, but we need to synchronize our attacks in a different way. Explain yourself, Awamo.
Awamo explained his plan to Ewin, who nodded in understanding. Both God and Angel prepared to put their strategy into practice. The shadow creature, confident in its superiority, launched into the attack again, but this time Awamo and Ewin were ready to respond differently.
Now, Ewin, combine your energy of destruction with mine in a more controlled way.
Ewin nodded and channeled his energy to Awamo, who, in turn, merged it with his. Instead of launching a direct attack, they created a sphere of combined light and energy that floated between them.
Do you think this tactic will change the outcome? We'll see.
The energy sphere began to slowly expand, emanating a glowing light that contrasted the surrounding darkness. The shadow creature, curious but confident, watched the development with disdain.
The fused power is not only destructive, but it also has properties that counteract its absorption capacity.
The combined energy sphere, now reaching its maximum expansion, released a wave of light and energy that enveloped the shadow creature. This time, instead of absorbing the power, the darkness that characterized her began to dissipate.
What is this? My power should not be weakened. We create an energy that goes beyond destruction and creation, one that neutralizes the darkness that you're trying to absorb.
The shadow creature, weakened by Awamo and Ewin's strategic counterattack, retreated as the combined energy sphere continued to exert its effect. The light emanating from the sphere began to purify the darkness surrounding the entity, revealing its original form before corruption.
It seems our tactic's working, but we must make sure we contain it completely. We can't let our guard down. Let's continue with the strategy until the creature's completely neutralized.
The space battle continued, but this time Awamo and Ewin had the upper hand. His sphere of combined energy continued to exert its purifying effect, dispelling the darkness that threatened Thraxus Nocturne. With each passing moment, the shadow creature grew weaker. The light of hope began to shine in the corner of the cosmos that was once on the verge of destruction. The shadow creature, weakened by Awamo and Ewin's strategy, retreated into space, its distorted form twisting as the combined energy sphere continued to purify the darkness that enveloped it. In a desperate attempt to regain his strength, the shadow creature began to explore its surroundings, looking for an opportunity to turn the situation in his favor.
My power is weakened here. I need to find a place where darkness prevails.
While exploring, the shadow creature noticed something that favored him. His eyes flashed with malevolent anticipation as he discovered that this world was called Thraxus Nocturne because it was a planet plunged into shadows. The dark entity smiled malevolently as he realized that this planet could provide the darkness needed to revitalize his power.
Ha 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 ha! Thraxus Nocturne, a feast of darkness awaits me!
With amazing speed, the shadow creature launched itself towards the planet, traversing space with great speed. Awamo and Ewin, aware of his intentions, followed closely, determined to stop any attempt by the shadow creature to plunge into the darkness of the planet. As the creature approached Thraxus Nocturne, the darkness of the planet seemed to intensify, as if responding to its presence. The planet's nighttime atmosphere shone with a faint luminosity, offering a fascinating contrast to the surrounding stars.
Ewin, we must prevent the creature from being filled with dark power. If she succeeds, it'll be even more difficult to stop her. Understood, Awamo. We'll not allow the darkness of this planet to fall into the hands of that entity.
The shadow creature descended on Thraxus Nocturne with a terrifying impetus. As she approached, the darkness seemed to take her in, enveloping her with a gloomy welcome. The shadow creature began to absorb the darkness of the planet, its twisted form vibrating with a new energy as it filled with the essence of Thraxus Nocturne.
Ha 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 ha! Yes, this darkness will strengthen me. Nothing can stop me now.
Awamo and Ewin, wasting no time, headed towards the shadow creature, determined to stop its advance before it became unstoppable. The battle in the shadows of Thraxus Nocturne was about to take a very drastic turn.
We cannot allow this darkness to completely corrupt this creature. We must stop her before she becomes invincible. Your previous strategy was effective, Awamo. Let's keep working together to counter his power.
Deep in the shadows of Thraxus Nocturne, the intense presence of the absorbing shadow creature did not go unnoticed by the most powerful warriors on the planet. Turles, Bardock, Raditz, Frieza, and his brother Cooler felt the darkness increasing around them and, with a mixture of amazement and concern, headed toward the epicenter of the threat.
Something's not right. The darkness in this place is getting denser.
Whatever it is, we cannot let it threaten Thrax's Nocturne. Let's investigate.
The warriors moved nimbly across the gloomy terrain, advancing towards the source of the darkness. As they got closer, the atmosphere became heavier, as if the shadow itself wanted to resist their advance.
The darkness is different. I feel a strange pressure.
I'm not afraid of the dark, but this is unusual. Cooler, stay alert.
Understood, Frieza. Let's find out what's going on.
Suddenly, a wave of dark energy erupted before them, revealing the shadow creature that was absorbing the darkness of the planet. His twisted figure and malevolent aura were as evident as the threat he posed to Thrax's Nocturne.
Warriors of this planet, his darkness feeds me. Soon I will be unstoppable.
We won't let you destroy Thrax's Nocturne. Get ready, creature.
The warriors went on the attack, each unleashing their unique power against the dark entity. Turles unleashed his evil aura, releasing bursts of destructive energy. Bardock channeled his Saiyan fury into powerful blows, while Raditz and Cooler coordinated their attacks to create a symphony of destruction. Frieza intensifying the struggle.
This creature doesn't know who he's up against. Your resistance is useless. Each blow only increases my power.
The shadow creature, powered by the darkness of Thrax's Nocturne, absorbed attacks with defiant ease. Each impact seemed to strengthen rather than weaken it, plunging the warriors into the disturbing reality that they were facing an enemy that fed on its own darkness.
It's not working. He's getting stronger and stronger.
We need to change our strategy. We can't let it absorb all the darkness on the planet.
While the warriors struggled to find an effective strategy, the shadow creature, with its distorted laughter, continued to absorb the darkness, becoming more and more powerful. The Battle of Thrax's Nocturne's survival was at its most critical, and the warriors knew that they had to find a solution before the dark entity became invincible. The dark aura released by the shadow creature enveloped the warriors of Thrax's Nocturne, gradually weakening them. The warriors struggled to stay on their feet as the entity's malevolent energy infiltrated their bodies, obscuring their vital forces.
This is it. Too much.
I can't let that defeat us like this.
The warriors, despite their bravery, were overcome by the darkness emanating from the aura of the shadow creature. At that critical moment, when hope seemed to be fading, a heavenly light pierced the shadows. Awamo and Ewin, the angels charged with protecting Thrax's Nocturne, arrived on the battlefield.
The darkness emanating from this creature is breathtaking. We cannot allow it to take over this planet. Time to show these warriors how to fight true darkness.
The angel spread his wings, and together with the god of destruction, they advanced towards the shadow creature, his presence radiating a luminosity that defied the malevolent nature of the dark aura. As it approached, the dark entities sensed the arrival of divine beings and turned to face the new threat.
More insignificant beings. His light will be devoured by my darkness.
Don't underestimate the power of light. Darkness cannot resist the true essence of creation.
Awamo extended his hand, and a purifying light enveloped the battlefield, counteracting the dark effect of the creature's aura. Ewin, on the other hand, deployed the energy of destruction, creating a perfect balance between light and darkness. The shadow creature, for the first time, felt the pressure of forces that it could not easily absorb or resist. The conflict took a turn, and the battle became more intense as the angel and god of destruction faced the dark entity with the unique combination of light and destruction.
The real struggle starts now. We'll protect Thrax's Nocturne from the darkness you represent.
The fight between the angels and the shadow creature reached impressive levels, with bursts of energy illuminating the dark planet of Thrax's Nocturne. Meanwhile, the warriors, freed from the debilitating effects of the dark aura, watched the fight, hoping that their planet would not be destroyed. In the dark skies of Thrax's Nocturne, the stage was transformed into a cosmic battlefield, where divine light and malevolent darkness collided in an epic confrontation. Awamo and Ewin, the guardians of this planet, displayed their celestial power with a grace and precision that defied description. The glow of the purifying light emanating from Ewin and Awamo spread across the space, illuminating the shadows that the shadow creature was trying to grasp. Ewin and Awamo's every move was a ballet of divine energy, as they gracefully dodged the dark attacks encountered with unstoppable force. Awamo's wings shone with a resplendent light, like stars in the night, as he invoked the very essence of creation to repel the dark forces rising up against him. By his side, Ewin radiated an imposing presence, with his penetrating gaze fixed on the creature as it defying the darkness itself. The shadow creature, on the other hand, was fighting with an impressive ferocity, trying to resist the overwhelming power of Ewin and Awamo. Their dark attacks were launched like ravenous shadows, seeking to consume the divine light that surrounded them. However, every attack was countered by the impenetrable force of Ewin and Awamo, who remained firm in their purpose to protect the planet. The clash between light and darkness created a symphony of cosmic energy, with flashes of light and bursts of energy illuminating the firmament. The light will always prevail over the darkness. Your power is formidable, but it cannot resist the purity of creation.
You can't stop me. I'm the very embodiment of darkness.
Darkness can be powerful, but the real strength lies in balance, and we represent that balance. Ewin and Awamo continued to deploy their energy with amazing precision, creating light barriers that repelled the attacks of the shadow creature. Every movement of Ewin and Awamo was imbued with a divine elegance and grace, while the creature struggled with a desperate ferocity. Our mission is to protect the harmony of the universe, and that includes protecting this planet from your darkness.
You can't stop me. I'm inevitable.
The shadow creature launched waves of dark energy, but Ewin and Awamo easily repelled them, maintaining an opposing presence in the midst of battle. Every blow of Ewin and Awamo resonated with the force of creation, while the creature struggled more and more desperately. The darkness can be a challenge, but our determination's unwavering. We'll not let you destroy this planet. Your power may be formidable, but it cannot equal the eternal light of the universe. The battle continued with Ewin and Awamo and the shadow creature facing off in an epic clash between light and dark. In the midst of the struggle, Father Zeno silently watched from his kingdom, perceived the magnitude of the conflict. With an imperceptible gesture, he decided to intervene, taking Ewin and Awamo to a mental plane where they could confront the shadow creature in a terrain beyond the physical. In a flash of dazzling light, Awamo and Ewin were transported to an ethereal realm, where the laws of the universe twisted and blurred. Where are we, Ewin? We have entered the realm of the mind, a place where reality is molded according to the will of the observer. Here the real battle be fought in the deepest corners of our being. While Awamo and Ewin were transported to a mental plane by Father Zeno, the shadow creature continued its fierce assault against the warriors of Thraxis Nocturne. Turles, Bardock, Raditz, Frieza, and Cooler, the most powerful warriors on the planet, rose up against the darkness that threatened to consume their home. The shadow creature, imbued with a dark and malevolent aura, hovered over them with an overwhelming presence. He distorted his energy, enveloping everything around him, tearing reality itself apart, and threatening to plunge the planet into an abyss of chaos.
We won't let you destroy our home, shadow monster. We, the warriors of Thraxis Nocturne, are not afraid of the dark.
We have faced much greater dangers than you, creature.
We will fight together to protect our world.
The shadow creature launched a powerful dark attack towards the warriors, but they responded with relentless ferocity. Turles, his eyes shining with determination, unleashed a shower of destructive energy, summoning the very essence of nature to channel it in a torrent of energetic attacks. Their powerful attacks cut through the darkness with devastating precision, creating dazzling explosions that lit up the planet's night sky. Bardock, with his fiery ki and indomitable spirit, channeled his energy into a powerful attack. His fists were burning with a searing intensity as he launched a concentrated burst of energy towards the shadow creature, challenging its strength with its own. Bardock's attack resonated with the determination of an invincible warrior, willing to give everything for the protection of his world. Raditz and Cooler, united in battle, joined in a coordinated assault on the shadow creature. With fluid and coordinated movements, they launched bursts of energy from different angles, creating a barrier of attacks that surrounded their enemy. The shadow creature struggled to defend itself against the combined onslaught of the two powerful warriors, but its resistance was challenged by the determination and skill of Raditz and Cooler. Meanwhile, Frieza, with his golden form glowing with a golden aura, was preparing to unleash his full power against the shadow creature. His eyes shone with a cold and calculated determination as he focused his energy on a devastating attack. With a graceful and precise movement, Frieza unleashed a burst of golden energy that swirled with unparalleled destructive power, threatening to envelop the shadow creature in a mantle of fire and destruction. The battle escalated as the warriors of Thraxus Nocturne bravely faced the darkness that threatened their world. Every blow, every burst of energy echoed through space, creating a spectacle of destruction and determination. Meanwhile, on the mental plane, Awamo and Ewin were engaged in a metaphysical struggle against Father Zeno, an omnipotent entity whose presence radiated an aura of indescribable power. Ewin and Awamo, aware of the gravity of the situation, desperately sought the intervention of Father Zeno to counter the threat of the shadow creature. However, to their surprise, Father Zeno solemnly informed them that they could not intervene directly, since the balance of the universe had to be kept intact even in times of crisis. Awamo and Ewin, although unhappy with Father Zeno's decision, understood the importance of respecting the laws of the cosmos. With determination, they plunged even deeper into the metaphysical struggle, using all their ingenuity and power to find a solution to the crisis unfolding in Thraxus Nocturne. As a confrontation on the mental plane reached its climax, Awamo and Ewin found themselves face to face with the imposing Father Zeno. His figure radiated an indisputable authority, but also an aura of mystery that aroused restlessness in the Ewin and Awamo. Awamo, with his usual serenity, broke the tense silence that filled the ethereal space. "Father Zeno," he began in a firm but respectful tone, "could it be you that... were you the one who sent the shadow creatures to destroy the planets?" Father Zeno, with an unflappable expression, nodded slowly. "I did it for the good of the universe," he replied calmly. Although his voice resonated with a power that shook Ewin and Awamo, sometimes drastic measures must be taken to preserve the cosmic balance. Ewin, with a flash of indignation in his eyes, could not contain himself anymore. "But that doesn't justify the chaos and destruction you've unleashed!" he exclaimed, his voice echoing with unshakable determination. "There are other ways to restore balance without resorting to violence and darkness." Father Zeno observed the god of destruction and his angel with a penetrating gaze, as if he were evaluating their words and their posture. "Your compassion is admirable, but sometimes it's necessary to sacrifice a few pieces to save the entire board," he said in an enigmatic tone. Awamo and Ewin exchanged determined glances. Although they respected Father Zeno's authority, they knew that they had to follow their own principles and convictions. With courage, they prepared to challenge the omnipotent being in front of them, willing to fight for what they believed was right, even if it meant facing the divinity itself. The air on the mental plane was charged with tension, as Awamo and Ewin prepared to face Father Zeno. Their divine auras collided in a show of titanic forces, as Ewin and Awamo prepared to challenge the supreme being in front of them. Awamo, with his heavenly book in hand, looked at Father Zeno with determination. "Father Zeno, although we respect your authority, we cannot allow you to continue with this destruction," he stated firmly. "We'll fight for peace and balance in the universe, even if it means standing up to you." Father Zeno, with an impenetrable calm, nodded in recognition. "Your courage is admirable, but you will not be able to stop me," he replied calmly. "The fate of the universe is in my hands, and I'll do whatever it takes to preserve its balance." Without further words, the battle began with a burst of divine energy. Awamo unleashed his celestial power, summoning rays of light that he threw against Father Zeno, while Ewin threw waves of energy with determination. However, Father Zeno showed impressive resilience, deflecting every attack with surprising ease. The fight went on for what seemed like an eternity, with Ewin and Awamo and Father Zeno trading punches and counterpunches in a cosmic dance of power and skill. Every movement was imbued with a supernatural force, while the mental plane trembled under the intensity of his conflict. However, as time passed, Awamo and Ewin began to feel the weight of their opponent. Father Zeno's power was overwhelming, and every blow Ewin and Awamo received weakened them even more. Despite their bravery and determination, it seemed that they were fighting against an impossible to defeat force. Awamo, panting from the effort, looked at his companion with concern.
Ewin, we can't go on like this, he admitted sincerely. Father Zeno's too powerful for us.
Ewin, though exhausted, nodded determinedly.
I know, Awamo, but we can't give up, he replied firmly. We must keep fighting for Thraxus Nocturne and for all beings in the universe.
With a final effort, Ewin and Awamo gathered their forces to launch a final attack against Father Zeno. However, the Supreme Being easily overcame them, deflecting his power with a contemptuous gesture. Father Zeno looked at Ewin and Awamo with a mixture of admiration and regret.
They're brave, but their struggle has come to an end,
He solemnly declared.
Accept your defeat and let fate take its course.
With a resigned sigh, Awamo and Ewin surrendered to Father Zeno's overwhelming strength. Although they had fought with all their heart and soul, they knew that they could not defeat the Supreme Being in front of them. Father Zeno, with a compassionate look, looked at them benevolently.
Rest now, my brave creations,
he said gently.
His bravery will be remembered throughout the universe.
Father Zeno, with an unflappable expression, extended his hand towards the exhausted Ewin and Awamo. In an instant, a powerful burst of cosmic energy emanated from his palm, enveloping Awamo and Ewin in a dazzling radiance. Ewin and Awamo screamed in agony as Father Zeno's energy enveloped them, feeling every fiber of their being torn apart under the relentless power of the Supreme Being. Their bodies, imbued with divine light, were slowly consumed in the maelstrom of energy, fading little by little into the aether of the cosmos. Awamo and Ewin fought with all their might to resist the cataclysm that engulfed them, but it was useless. The power of Father Zeno surpassed them in every respect, and they were soon reduced to mere shadows of their former glory. With the last gasp, Awamo and Ewin exploded, leaving body parts all over the mental space, dissipating into cosmic nothingness while their essence merged with the universe. At that precise moment, we return to the earthly plane, where the fierce battle between the most powerful warriors of Thraxus Nocturne and the shadow creature was reaching its climax. Bursts of energy and thunderous crashes echoed in the air, while Bardock, in the middle of the combat, glimpsed Awamo and Ewin, who were lying unconscious on the ground, enveloped in a halo of divine light. Surprise and dismay were reflected on the faces of the warriors, who momentarily stopped their frantic struggle upon realizing the situation. Bardock, his eyes wide open, watched in horror as Ewin and Awamo's bodies began to shake, emanating flashes of energy that increased in intensity with each passing second. A tense silence enveloped the battlefield as everyone watched the scene in disbelief. Suddenly, a heart-rending explosion echoed in the air, making the earth and sky tremble. Bardock and the other warriors were thrown back by the force of the explosion, protecting themselves as best as they could from the shockwave that was spreading around them. When the afterglow of the explosion faded, what was left was a smoking crater where Awamo and Ewin once stood. The warriors slowly stood up, stunned by what they had just witnessed, as the shadow creature, now shrouded in an even denser darkness, prepared to lash out again before the protecting warriors of Thraxus Nocturne. Bardock clenched his fist determinedly, feeling a mixture of sadness and fury burn inside him. He knew that they must continue the fight, not only for the honor of their planet, but also in memory of their brave fallen guardians. With a war cry, the warriors rushed into combat again, determined to avenge the loss of their comrades and protect their home from the darkness that threatened to consume it. After the devastating explosion that killed Awamo and Ewin, the warriors of Thraxus Nocturne gathered in a circle, still stunned by what had happened. Bardock, with a gloomy look, broke the silence with a grave tone.
Damn it! What the hell just happened?
Turtles, frowning, shook his head in disbelief.
I don't know, but we can't let this sacrifice be in vain. We need to get this thing over with once and for all.
Raditz, with his fist clenched, furiously nodded determinedly.
You're right! Awamo and Ewin gave their lives to protect this planet. We cannot disappoint his sacrifice.
Frieza, with his usual impassive expression, spoke in a cold and calculated tone.
The death of Ewin and Awamo should not be in vain. We must unite and concentrate our efforts on defeating that shadow creature.
Cooler, with a serious look, added determinedly,
We are facing an unprecedented threat, but if we fight together, we can overcome it. Let's do it for the honor of Thraxus Nocturne,
for the legacy of our brave comrades.
Bardock nodded sullenly, his jaw tense with determination.
So, are we in agreement? We'll fight together until the end and avenge our fallen.
The warriors nodded in agreement, sharing a look of determination and unity. With their hearts filled with determination, they prepared to face once again the darkness that threatened their home. As the warriors prepared to face the shadow creature again, a fierce determination burned in their hearts. Turtles, feeling the energy of the battle, was the first to unleash his power.
It's time to show them our true power!
With a powerful scream, Turtles wrapped himself in an aura of energy. Her dark hair turned golden and her eyes shone with a dazzling intensity. The energy of the Super Saiyan emanated from his being, infusing strength and determination into his entire being. Raditz, inspired by Turtle's example, followed suit.
It's my turn!
With a burst of energy, Raditz's dark hair bristled, turning golden just like his brother's. His ki increased dramatically, emanating a commanding presence that filled the battlefield. Seeing the transformation of his comrades, Bardock also joined the fray.
I can't stay behind!
With a battle cry, Bardock unleashed all his power. His fiery aura enveloped him in a higher golden glow. His energy increased to astronomical levels, propelling him towards a higher form of his race. Frieza, observing the transformation of the Saiyans, did not want to be left behind.
The time has come to show my true strength!
With a burst of energy, Frieza transformed into his golden form of maximum power similar to 100% full power. His body radiating a golden glow. His power multiplied several times, turning him into an unstoppable force that rivaled the sunlight itself. Cooler, feeling the energy surrounding him, decided to join the fight with all his might.
It's time to unleash my true potential!
With a flash of energy, Cooler transformed into his metallic form, his body glowing with a metallic luster. His stamina and power increased exponentially, making him an invincible force that would defy even the gods. With their transformations complete, the warriors of Thraxus Nocturne once again faced the shadow creature with renewed determination and a power that eclipsed any darkness. In the skies of Thraxus Nocturne, the battle continued as the transformed warriors faced off against the shadow creature, a being whose dark power threatened to devour everything in its path. With each of the warriors unleashing their full potential, the cosmos trembled under the force of their epic showdown. The golden aura of Turtles, Raditz, and Bardock, combined with the imposing presence of Frieza and Cooler in their transformed forms, formed a dazzling spectacle in the night sky. Energy flickered around them, lighting up the darkness with golden and silver flashes as they prepared for the final showdown. The shadow creature, sensing his power of his adversaries, emanated a rumbling roar that echoed through the planet. His dark form seemed to twist and distort as he prepared for the final assault.
It's time to end this once and for all!
With a battle cry, Turtles lunged forward. His speed increased by his Super Saiyan form. The shadow creature responded with an onslaught of dark energy, but Turtles nimbly dodged it, moving with astonishing speed across the battlefield. Raditz and Bardock followed Turtles' lead, attacking with relentless ferocity. Their blows echoed in the air, each one charged with the strength of his determination and the desire to protect his home planet. The shadow creature's attacks were swift and fierce, but the Saiyans deftly dodged them, responding with even more powerful blows.
Father, let's keep the pressure on this thing! We can't let it destroy our home!
I know. We're not going to allow this monster to destroy Thraxus Nocturne. Our power is more than enough to end it.
That's right! You taught us to fight with courage and determination! We'll not back down before this creature is destroyed!
Take this!
The shadow creature dodged Bardock's attack with agility, launching its counterattack with its sharp claws.
Careful, Father!
Don't worry about me. I'm more than ready for this.
And take this too!
Raditz's attacks hit the shadow creature hard, but it quickly recovered and counterattacked with a surge of dark energy.
Damn, this thing's tougher than I thought.
We can't give up now! Our planet depends on us!
You're right. Let's show you what we're capable of.
The two Saiyans launched into the air attack once more with renewed determination. Their blows echoed in the air, each one charged with the strength of his determination and the desire to protect his home planet. The shadow creature, although resistant, was overcome by the ferocity of the Saiyans. Turles, with his golden hair flowing behind him, launched a quick series of precise punches, each one carrying with it the power of his transformation into Super Saiyan. His movements were fluid and graceful, as if he were dancing around his enemy, dodging every attack with impressive agility.
There's no escape for you, monster. Your darkness can't compete with the power of the Super Saiyan.
With a battle cry, Turles lashed out at the shadow creature, striking with overwhelming force. Every blow resounded in the air, shaking the battlefield with its power. The shadow creature was fighting desperately, but its attacks seemed weak compared to Turles' ferocity. Meanwhile, Raditz and Bardock were continuing their assault on the shadow creature. Their attacks were coordinated and precise, each complementing the other in a deadly dance of destruction. The shadow creature found itself increasingly cornered, unable to cope with the combined might of the Saiyans.
Come on, Father. We know we can stop this thing.
I know, Raditz. Let's keep pushing until there's nothing left of this creature.
With renewed determination, the two Saiyans redoubled their efforts, launching a series of devastating attacks against the shadow creature. Each blow echoed in the air, carrying with it the weight of his determination and the desire to protect his home planet. Frieza and Cooler were watching the battle intently from a distance, their cold gazes evaluating every move of the Saiyans and the shadow creature. As the fight intensified, they noticed with increasing concern how the shadow creature began to gain more strength, releasing a dark energy that threatened to destabilize this situation.
It seems that the things are getting more complicated than I expected.
Yes, the shadow creature seems to be gaining ground. If we don't intervene soon, we could face an even more dangerous situation.
With a cold determination, Frieza and Cooler exchanged a glance before heading towards the battlefield. His presence made itself felt immediately. His overbearing aura flooded the area as they prepared to face the shadow creature.
Looks like we need to intervene before things get out of control.
I agree. We cannot allow the shadow creature to wreak more havoc on our planet.
With surprising speed, Frieza and Cooler launched into action, deploying all the power in an effort to contain the shadow creature. His attacks were precise and devastating, each blow carrying with it the weight of his determination and the desire to protect his home. However, the shadow creature was not going to be easily defeated. With a thunderous scream, he split into 4 separate beings, each one darker and more malevolent than the last. The earth trembled under their weight as they advanced towards the warriors, ready to unleash their fury on them.
It seems that this creature has more tricks up its sleeves than we thought.
It doesn't matter. We have our own tricks.
This is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.